Are you listening? Damn.
Welcome everybody to the AFC North Talk. I know, guys. I know we're a little late by now.
We're not a little late.
We started
normal. We're not even 10 minutes late. It's like a record start for us. We're basically
We're
on time.
5 minutes early. We usually start 15 minutes after the start. So I don't even want to hear it.
Let's make them wait a little.
Yeah, Sonny, don't apologize to these people. We not late. We not late.
The biggest secret is the show starts like before we even go live. We're back there talking about takes and everything before this even happens.
And let's be real here. You know, any food joint worth it. You don't know when they open. Ace, when you get good barbecue in Orlando, you call first, right? Even if you ain't about to order, you're like, hey, let me call them and see if they open, because that's what's up. That's how you know it's good. They might be open. They might not be. All right. That's what we operate on. We operate on Fuji time and operate on barbecue shack in the hood hours. Okay. So we might be here at 5:30. We might not. We don't know the hours until y'all know the hours.
It used to be 5:45 anyway. So technically we're still early. When we first started, it was 5:45.
That's right.
And it usually takes us like an hour to get into the actual show anyways. By the way, does anybody want to talk about Urban Meyer real quick, not knowing who Aaron Donald was? Like, can we talk about the hilarity of the Urban Meyer situation? The homie looked at tape at Aaron Donald. It was like, yo, this number 99 on the Rams is nice. And that's not even me being hyperbolic. That is an actual quote from the story. The story is much more damning than that. He ain't know who a Deebo Samuel was or Jamal Adams. Like, dog, what was he not paying attention for 10 years? Aaron Donald been in the league since 2014, right?
Yes.
Crazy. He's not new. Like Deebo Samuel, I could maybe understand.
The only reason he knows Joe Burrow is because he recruited him.
Right. Because he passed him up. That's all you knew. Hey, look, I'm going to take my victory lap on this whole Urban Meyer thing because I told y'all that this Urban Meyer thing would be as bad as Bobby Petrino in Atlanta. Did I not say that on this show the second they decided that this is what they was going to do? If you were discussing this, like, this is dumb. I have been around Urban Meyer and his foolishness. I know what this is going to be in the NFL. And what has it been? Don't question me on these college coaches no more. Cliff Kingsbury, I've been smoking that pack. I'm smoking the Matt Rule pack next year when that thing burned out. Could you imagine Matt Rule with Baker Mayfield? Just like imagine that. And that might happen. And now the Urban Meyer pack. I told y'all this man was incompetent. He didn't know who Zeke Elliott was. And Zeke Elliott was on his roster, dog. Like, this is who Urban Meyer is. He has always been held up by the strength of his coordinators and the people around him and his reputation that he built up in Florida. He has never been this genius that people asserted him to be. And he ain't nothing worse than a normal man who think he a genius, because that's how you end up with top tier dumb shit. And this Urban Meyer thing was top level.
It makes sense to me though. That's why when like everybody's always worshiping Nick Saban, I was like, you guys not see when he went to the Dolphins? Like, this isn't college. You can't just recruit guys in the NFL. Like, it doesn't work like that. There's no farm system in the NFL.
And it's the way you treat the players too, right? I mean, again, in college versus the pros, like the pros have all the power. I mean, in college,
and I don't get the feeling that even with Nick Saban, like, his issue wasn't that he didn't know who dudes were or like acted the fool. Like, his issue was that he just didn't want to be there no more, because he looked around and was like, why would I be in Miami losing 6 games when I could go to Alabama and not lose for 3 years? Like, that's the game that he didn't make $100 million or however much he makes a year. So he made a business decision at the end of the day. Miami wanted him back. This whole Urban Meyer situation, I'm surprised that man made it 13 games. Like, the more you look at it, the more you're like, wow, this man made it 13 games. Could you imagine if one of us did not know who Aaron Donald was? This podcast would be over. It would be done for. We would not have a future anymore.
Like, here's the thing. It is, you have to give him credit for not, it's like you have to go out of your way to not know who Aaron Donald is.
That's what I'm saying. That, like, could you imagine somebody... Could you imagine somebody in the 90s was like, man, this dude on the Packers, white, he's good.
Yeah.
Who is this man? Like, could you imagine if Jimmy Johnson did that? Like, that is amazing that he just did not know who Aaron Donald was. Like, that is a dedication to hating on Sundays if you don't know who that is. Like, that's not, I don't watch football. My aunties know who Aaron Donald is. They don't even follow a team hardcore. Like, it's amazing, dog. How did he get anybody in that locker room to listen to him once that came out? Because if that was reported in the news, you knew the locker room knew that man didn't know who Aaron Donald was. And how could you take anything that man says seriously when he out here getting booty rubbed on him on an off day? Like after all of this, he got booty rubbed on him on an off day in Cincinnati, got caught cheating, lied about it to his team when he ain't had to lie to that team. And then all of the other incompetent stuff, the man kicking the kicker for no reason, just all this goofiness, and then he don't know who Aaron Donald is, and you in a meeting, and this dude's like, play for me? No, dog. I am sitting out the entire year. Hell no. The Urban Meyer, man. Congratulations.
Let me tell you something. The Kingsbury, didn't Kingsbury got an extension during the off?
Killer Kingsbury compared to Urban Meyer looks like Bill Belichick compared to Urban Meyer right now.
All I'm saying is Kingsbury is staying here for a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer.
That's good for me. You know what I mean? This is good for the brand. I can't do nothing with Cliff Kingsbury out there at Southern Carolina or wherever he would go next. Nah, I need Cliff Kingsbury right where he is in the NFL, losing games at the end of the season so I can make fun of it. Like, ain't no fun in him losing games at the end of an SEC season like he would.
Okay, we have Ray Rack here says, so where does Money Mitch AFC North QB. By the way, I saw Tony's tweet got a little bit of traction.
Well, that's true. Well, you know why, Sonny? Because like all tweets that get traction, there's a lot of truth to it. You know, the Steelers landed Mitchell Trubisky, and the AFC has gone absolutely insane trying to keep up. We had of course the Deshaun Watson thing, Tyreek Hill. It just gets crazier and crazier. Now we hear. By the way, I don't know if you guys heard this rumor that's been going around for the past 24 hours that Tom Brady may be headed a little south in Florida, which is
to Miami.
Yeah, that is the rumor. Although I don't necessarily buy it because you've heard so many free agents talk about how they've been recruited to Tampa. So, like, what happened in the last week after he recruited all these guys to Tampa, and now he wants to leave for Miami?
He realized it was a better team. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it's like the draft day. We live in a different world than we lived in 15 minutes ago because the Miami Dolphins now have Tyreek Hill.
I wonder if Miami's waiting, and I'm sure there's going to be super chats about this, but I wonder if Miami's over there waiting on the sidelines to say, hey, Baker, you want to come here, battle up with Tua? Because you're not convinced with Tua, right? Are you convinced with Tua?
This is the year, right? This is the last year.
I'm not sold on Tua like that. I liked Tua before he had the hip injury and all of that, but he is not that good. Like he's not really that guy, and this is going to put even more of Tua under a microscope with all of these weapons there and all of that. The only thing that I could see with like the Brady thing is that him and, the front office, or not even front office, but him and Arians were kind of at odds, right? Like over that whole situation. That is the only thing that I could see, like even causing him to consider Miami. But with it being that he's reached out to free agents, I don't think that it's likely that it happens now.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Here's the only thing I can see happening is if and this would be stupid, but this might happen. Tom goes to Miami, and then all of a sudden Bruce Arians gets his boy. It's been a long journey. It's been 3 years since he was. Yeah, that's his boy. The report came out immediately when they did. Remember, there was like 3 days where Baker Mayfield was available and Tom Brady had not unretired yet. Yeah. And the report came out fast as they. Oh, Bruce Arians would like him. You know what I mean? So there's still interest there, but obviously it's Tom Brady, so there's no reason for him to trade him. Honestly, Baker Mayfield could go anywhere because the Browns going to probably eat, 75% of that cap hit?
At this point, it looks like they probably going to cut him.
I'm trying to figure out who's going to be the bigger cap hit and draft bring in, Case Keenum or Baker Mayfield, because they didn't have to eat any of that Case Keenum money, and they got a 7th round pick. I wondered if you got to eat up 75% of Baker's number and you get a 6th round pick. I don't think that's equal. I think you got more for Case Keenum. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think it might be the other way. I think you might be giving up something and getting rid of Baker just to get rid of the salary.
That's what they were saying. They were saying
the old Brock Osweiler.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they were saying.
Which is crazy because he's not as bad as a player as Brock Osweiler was. Like, he's a better quarterback than Brock Osweiler.
I agree.
But the thing is, he's an asshole. So it makes it more difficult, right? Like that, the people, whether he's an asshole or not. But, people have perceived this man to be an asshole for 4 years now. It's just he was in Cleveland where they liked him like that. And now it's just like, well.
Wait, but not only the a-hole portion of it, right? I feel like, and I like Andrew Berry, right? But I feel the problem here was as soon as he thought we need to move from him, as soon as they won a free agency came, he needed to trade him. Because there was one team with a good roster looking for a quarterback, right? Seattle, yeah, you can say that they're looking for a quarterback. Carolina, yeah, maybe. But all those teams are looking probably to lose next year.
Here's the problem, though, Sonny. Baker Mayfield out here telling teams he don't want to play for them.
Yeah, but he wanted to play for the Colts.
That's the problem.
Hold on. Who was the mutual disinterest team? Who was that?
It was the Panthers. It was Matt Rule and the Panthers.
Mutual disinterest is my favorite thing ever.
This is the problem, Sonny. And it ain't that he said it. It's that's what he thinks right now is going on, right? Like he thinks that he is in control. He thinks he's the captain of this whole thing. This is the issue with it, right? So I don't think it matters when you trade him because he thinks he's a superstar player. So this was always going to be the problem. And to be honest, the signs were showing that in 2020, he looked fine as this whole adult thing. We thought he had grew up a little bit and we're over some of this stuff. But as soon as he got that injury in week 3, oh boy, did the camp start leaking stuff. And then he start throwing the coaches under the bus at the press conferences. And you're like, oh. So it was going to be hard to trade him anyways, right? Like this was always going to be what it was with Baker. And that's why they were always willing to ride it out. They didn't get an upgrade because they knew they couldn't trade him. Now they got to get rid of him, and now they're in a rather peculiar situation. And it's interesting situation because he's really not a terrible quarterback, but he does come with some weird baggage along with him, and he ain't good enough to justify it. So it's going to be interesting to see what team ends up.
If you're a team that wants to take a flyer on Baker, at this point, you might just wait for the Browns to cut him and say.
Well, here's also the issue: you might not stink with them. Right? Like, what if you trying to stink? You trade for Baker Mayfield, like, okay, we'll get a veteran to make him think we're trying to compete. And he has one of them decent Baker Mayfield years. And all of a sudden you 7-9. You know what I mean? That does you no good. Right. Yeah. So you're not like you get Jimmy Garoppolo on a trash team. You about to suck, baby. You about to get 4 wins at most, but you're going to have Jimmy Garoppolo there to will in people to buy tickets. Baker Mayfield's a different story where you might win 7 with them. And that's exactly what you don't want to happen.
That was the dilemma with us with Andy Dalton, because whenever you had him, you were still going to win 7 to 8 games. And so you never be in the top 5 to get that quarterback. And that was the dilemma we had too.
Isn't the smartest thing for the Browns to do right now to just chill? Because they're not in a cap, they're not in some sort of cap.
They're going to wait. They're going to wait
just
this out.
Chill until a quarterback gets hurt in training camp or preseason, and then unload him then, right? I mean, if you're going to cut him, you're going to eat all the money anyway. So you don't need to cut him today. You wait and figure out.
And homie already said he wasn't showing up, and I don't think he got to. I don't think he got to do that no more. I don't think he got to tell nobody he ain't showing up. You know what I mean? I think this is gonna be the quietest holdout of all time. People gonna be like, it's news if he does show up to camp. You know what I mean? So he's gonna. They're gonna wait on this, see if somebody gets desperate enough. Like whoever loses out on the Malik Willis sweepstakes, because I refuse to believe that there's a team out there stupid enough to be like, yo, I'd rather bet on Kenny Pickett than Baker Mayfield. That's a wild bet to me.
Watch Carolina.
They'll do it.
Okay, Carolina. I'm not underestimating a team's ability to be confident, but come on, man. Baker Mayfield is such a better bet than Kenny Pickett. 8.5-inch hands. 8.5-inch hands.
I think the issue with Baker isn't even the talent. I think it's the attitude and the shenanigans that come with Baker Mayfield.
You're taking a bet on that stuff, right, with Baker Mayfield,
Right.
but you know that he's an NFL player.
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
it's a similar cost projection with Kenny Pickett. You're not betting on that stuff with Kenny Pickett, but you betting on them tiny ass hands of Kenny Pickett in 1 year production in the worst year that the ACC has been in like 10 years. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So this is what I'm saying. Like when it comes to all of the other quarterbacks, right? Malik Willis, I can understand why you would take that bet because ultimately that's understandable. I don't think it's a better bet, but I can understand that bet. That's not a bet that's going to get you fired. But like if Baker Mayfield ends up being decent and you decide to go with Kenny Pickett, I think we really underestimate his ability to be the next Nate Peterman, because we just go to he could be Kirk Cousins, but like he could be Nate Peterman, right? Like you could end up starting him for 3 games and be like, oh, this ain't it. This ain't going to work. Because again, like how small was Joe Burrow's hands? And people made fun of that. What, 9 1/4?
Yeah,
Joe Burrow got Big Mac hands compared to him. Like this man has 8.5-inch hands. That's crazy. I'm 5'8".
They grew by a 1/4 inch at his pro day.
Yeah, he got that massage therapy that Brandon Allen had, because Brandon Allen's hands grew too magically between his combine and his pro day. But man, and they're still tiny, dog. They were still.
Here's where I'll push back on you a little bit. There is this. So like I agree with you that Kenny Pickett could very easily be a bust, but the question is, can Baker Mayfield ever be like a true 16 games a year starting quarterback? Not because of his play on the field, but isn't the problem now at this point that he's got this me against the world attitude and no one wants him? And is he ever going to change his stripes in that way from an attitude perspective? Because it just feels like he's the kind of guy who every time his back against the wall, everybody else is the problem and not me. And I don't know that you're changing that about him wherever he goes.
No. The issue isn't that you can get through 16 games. You can get through 16 with them. It's whether you get through 32 with them, right? Like like that. That's the thing with Baker Mayfield. If you want to bring in Baker Mayfield, my advice to any team is, hey man, as long as the plan's only to keep him for 2 years and move on after that, you fine. Like you'll be ultimately fine at that, right? But you can't think you're gonna keep Baker Mayfield for the next 10 years. That's just not how that man's career is gonna go out, right? He's gonna be bouncing around a lot of teams and be a spot starter for a lot of teams where he'll be decent. And I hope he can humble himself to be that. If not, he's gonna be the best player in the XFL. That's the thing. It might take that to where it might take that. Like it might take that for him to get to there. But somebody gonna take a chance on it, right? Because like he has done too much to where people won't take a shot at it. I just don't think they're willing to give up anything at it, because if you gave up a lot for Baker Mayfield and he do Baker Mayfield stuff, you're going to get fired for that kind of a decision. But if you take a chance on him at free agency, you ain't going to get fired on him. Or if you just take a late round pick and attach it to him. Again, a 6th round pick for Baker Mayfield, that's a lot better of a bet than I would have bet on Matt Corral or somebody like that who really have no business being 1st round draft picks in this year's draft.
No, I agree with you, Quincy, from a talent standpoint, right? Like I don't think that they're going to match him on the talent. But the one thing that I remember watching when the whole OBJ thing went down, everybody sided with OBJ. Like you don't want to bring that into your locker room. You don't want to bring that into your. That says a lot. Like if you're the quarterback and everybody is coming out, like we even heard Myles Garrett come out of his hole and say like something in defense of OBJ, and it was like that's just a bad look because
No,
I said the leader of that team and everybody to turn against you, that's kind of dangerous.
He was never the leader of the team. That's the thing. It was always Myles Garrett's team. And he didn't understand that. But I said this back when this whole thing happened with him and Mary Kay. And the only Brown that would defend him was Brandon Weeden, who reputation much to the same of Baker Mayfield, right? Like this was always the issue with Baker Mayfield. What I am saying is, look, I don't say you would give up a 1st round pick to get Baker Mayfield, but I think you would take a gamble on, okay, maybe this whole trade thing has humbled him to a point to where he could be serviceable enough to play in here. And again, the locker room thing really only matters if you have a good locker room, to be honest with you, or a good team. Most of these teams that's about to trade for Baker Mayfield ain't gonna be good, right? Like what's Seattle gonna protect their locker room for? They just traded all their players. You know what I mean? They got rid of Russ. They got rid of all the veterans. That locker room could burn down. They trying to lose. You know what I mean? So even if it does go that way, I think some teams would prefer it do. You know what I mean? Because if you stink, you just get rid of them next year. It's not a long-term deal. And then you just draft Bryce Young if you stink enough, right? Like that's the thing with Baker. But that's why nobody's willing to trade like a premium pick for him, because it's not like anybody's like, yo, let's ride this out and see if we get a franchise quarterback. Like that's just
And
not.
it's tough because you can't even if you want Baker as like a serviceable backup, he doesn't view himself
No,
as
you
a
can't
backup.
do that.
So
It's like signing
like
Cam to be the backup.
Jimmy G, in my opinion, isn't better than Baker, but he's more willing to deal with like a situation like Trey Lance being in there. We didn't hear anything about Jimmy like making anything about Trey Lance. So like I feel like some people would just take that chance on Jimmy, even if they knew he was a bridge to a young guy, just because they know that he would handle it. Like Baker just wants to be the guy, and he's not realizing that if there's 32 teams and all of these spots are running out, you might have to hold a clipboard for a little bit. I mean, it happened with Jameis Winston.
Well, here's
in
the
New
thing that's
Orleans,
surprising about this whole thing, where you would have thought, like, hey, man, maybe you would have learned this before. He's done this before, right? Like, he literally has done this before when he left Texas Tech and he got benched there. Now, he left Texas Tech when he got benched there. But, he went to Oklahoma. Nothing was guaranteed to him. He had to humble himself and fight to start a job. And if Baker Mayfield was mad that they replaced him, but willing to compete, I think that would have rubbed GMs a lot differently than I'm mad and now I'm holding out. Because now that's like the audacity. You know what I mean? To have teams you don't want to play for and to hold out. Like, we barely want to deal with this with Aaron Rodgers, dog. And you're not Aaron Rodgers at all. Like, you know what I mean?
I think the idea that he's trying, the idea that he's in the position he's in and he's trying to pick and choose where he's going is exactly the problem with why you don't want him around.
Yeah,
he doesn't understand who he is.
You don't have a choice.
He has
You
no
need to release another note. I'm sorry. Please, somebody give me an opportunity. I'll humbly sit on the bench. I fired my agent.
Let me say this. Question for all of you. Where does Baker Mayfield play 2022?
Pittsburgh.
What team? Pittsburgh? Okay,
No,
I would definitely say Pittsburgh. I think it's going to be a situation where if they cut him, it's going to be somewhere like Pittsburgh where he feels like, because you got to think about that. If they cut him, somebody has to sign him and he kind of has say-so on where he goes, right? So he's going to go somewhere where he feels like he has a chance to be the starter. So I would say if Pittsburgh doesn't pick a quarterback in the draft, which I think there's a highly likely chance that they could, then I think he would pick Pittsburgh. So I'm going to say Pittsburgh.
Tony?
Well, that would involve Pittsburgh reciprocating, which I'm not sure that that's going to be the case. Where's he going to play next year? I mean, I guess I'll go chalk and just say Seattle, but
I'm thinking Miami. I'm going to go with Miami.
I think Miami's a possibility.
Miami could work. Miami is a good possibility now that you say that.
Yeah, well, and the thing with Baker Mayfield, look, he don't underthrow. You know what I mean? Like 2 underthrows. Baker don't do that whole situation. He will throw that thing out of the stadium sometimes. But I think realistically, probably the best thing for him, he needs to do that Tom Brady rehabilitation program. Just be the backup for Tom Brady for 1 year. You know what I mean? There ain't nobody going to shade you for being the backup for Tom. Tom likes you. Bruce likes you. You know what I mean? Hold the clipboard. Do the Jameis. Just do the Jameis. That's his plan. Jameis got $28 million this year for 2 years. Do the Jameis thing, man. Just sit behind a established quarterback for a year. Hold the clipboard. You saw by the way, I don't know if anybody's ever gonna talk about it, but you ever listen to Jameis while he was on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and then listen to him when he's on the Saints? That man did work on his vocabulary in that time. He sounds like a new man in New Orleans. But he needs to go on that Jameis program, right? If he wants to rehabilitate his name and get to be able to play the level of quarterback that he wants to play to, he needs to look at Jameis Winston and say, that's what I need to do. So I would go back, try to sit behind Tom Brady for a year. Tom ain't going to mind it because Tom ain't gonna care if Baker Mayfield back there. Baker gonna beat him out. And then once Tom's ready to wrap it up, come back out, say you a new man on that Josh McDaniels program, and then get a job, baby. And then you'll have that Tom Brady rub on you, and somebody will give you $10 million to play quarterback for a year. You know what I mean? That's what he needs to do. Other than that, if he continues to handle it like this, he's just going to be out the league much faster than people anticipate and much faster than he actually should be because he's much better than most quarterbacks in the league. It's just, he ain't good at this, and this is important.
Okay, so we have Feeling Dangerous here says, as a Browns fan, I'm so happy that Warren Buffett gave Jimmy $11 billion for his gas stations. It's a lot of dough. Hey, Urban Clear has an eye for talent. Okay. Joshua said,
I don't know why people let him slide on that Joe Burrow thing, man. I still to this day don't know how people let that slide at Ohio State. That he had Joe Burrow on the roster. It was like Dwayne Haskins. It ain't like Haskins was bad, but damn, Joe Burrow was much, much better. Like, and people still let that slide.
wait, but we recognize
that year, though,
that was good. Well, yeah. So Haskins
that year in particular, I mean, he wasn't wrong about that year. I mean, yeah, obviously he
But
didn't
not
have
only
the
that,
foresight.
when Burrow went to LSU, Burrow wasn't great, right?
That's what I'm
Right
saying.
away.
How do you
that
know if Burrow wouldn't be able to open it up in a system like Urban Meyer's was, that he wouldn't have been able to do that in year one,
That's
right? The
fair.
system had to change a little bit at LSU for him to be able to reach his potential. And
Yeah.
you ain't gonna tell me Joe Burrow being as damn good as he is right now that there was a way that Dwayne Haskins was ever actually better than him. Like, I don't believe that one for 1 second, that he was actually better than him. More talented. He saw the arm strength.
But
and
Burrow,
went with
I
that.
think, didn't Burrow have that injury? So it kind of, I think Burrow had like an injury. So by default, it kind of, they gave it to Haskins. And then by the time Burrow was ready, it was like, nah, it's already Haskins.
And the crazy
Haskins'
thing
job.
about
That year,
it,
they
the
rolled.
crazy thing about it, nobody in Ohio ever gives Urban slack for that one. And then Joe Burrow is from Ohio, dog. They did this to the man from Ohio. They denied him a job for the dude from Florida. And he's from Maryland. He's from Maryland, right? Yeah, from Maryland. And he still don't get flack about that. And I'm just like,
Yeah,
man,
that's crazy. Because he
That's
went
crazy.
up during the draft and was like, yeah, I still made the right decision. I was like, what?
And people still like, well, you know, Dwayne Haskins was good that year. You lost to Purdue that year, dog. Like, it wasn't a good team. You know what I mean? I don't think Joe Burrow loses to Purdue, but maybe my opinion of Joe Burrow as he plays now inflates what I thought of him as a college player. But I still was just like, damn, man, when Joe Burrow did that at LSU, it kind of made you look stupid. Nobody in Ohio ever wants to agree with me. They all
Nah, I agree with you.
Yeah,
That would be
Joshua here says Mixon gonna have a record year with this O line.
I believe that. I believe that to be true. Joe Mixon has never had an offensive line. This is going to be crazy.
Ray Rex here says Urban seemingly forgot who he had on his own team at Ohio State.
It took him till he was down to his third string quarterback to decide he was going to give Ezekiel Elliott more than 10 carries a game. That's who Urban Meyer is at
All I'm
his
gonna say
core.
is, don't forget about Jim Tressel, though. Don't forget about Jim Tressel.
Here's the thing with Jim Tressel. Jim Tressel's the exact opposite. He would have a bum at running back and run the ball 40 times and have Terrell Pryor at quarterback be like, nah, we good, bro. We don't need to do nothing with you.
We don't need to do anything with Terrell Pryor. Why would we do that?
We got Antonio Pittman back there. Like, oh my goodness. It's just...
Predator here says these Southern boys have poor transcripts. Urban.
That's the thing that got me.
He said about
his players, right? His
wide receiver. Yeah, I'm trying to remember the guy's name.
Chenault?
No.
DJ Shark?
Was it DJ Shark? Yeah.
Shark. Yeah, Shark. That's it.
How could you have this level of discontent for your players? Like, how could you think you have players on your team that are that stupid and then you don't know who Aaron Donald is?
Yeah. Ray Rack here says Sports Illustrated reported Tom Brady had interest in Miami, and then they also reported there was nothing behind that report. That's great.
Yeah, I don't know that that's actually true. Yeah, the whole Miami to Tom Brady thing.
By
the way, we need to hear from Novastone. Where's Novastone today?
Where's
we need our expert.
He came
Nova
out.
is in Miami. He's on South Beach right now. Working out a deal.
What if we find out Novastone's the dude that was deflating the footballs for him? You know what I mean?
He is the deflator? He is.
He's the deflator. He should just change his name.
Why don't we find out that Nova Stone is Tom Brady's burner account?
Just be it's Tom himself.
What is he gonna do when you guys play the Bucks or something? Do you guys play the Bucks this year?
Yeah,
because we do.
Yeah.
I can't wait, Nova Stone. I cannot wait.
I know how Novastone roll. Tom Brady is the ace of spade, baby. It beats everything in the pile. He gonna be rooting for Tom to beat that booty. That's what he gonna be rooting for.
I think that's right.
Yeah. If Tampa beats anybody in the AFC North, you know he's coming in gloating that week for sure. Professor Chaos says Andrew Berry said
Ravens.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
He better not do that if they beat the Ravens.
Oh, he might, because like Q said, it's Tom Brady, then there's a gap, and then the Ravens. I think that's how he operates. Andy Reid said that Deshaun Watson press conference that the Browns were investigating Deshaun for the last 5 months. So around the end of free agency last season. No.
What that tells you is that they would have made the trade last year. Like they would have. They've always felt like Baker Mayfield's a quarterback that you can upgrade from, right? There's two types of
I hate to take
starters
this
in this
victory lap because of the surroundings of it, but somebody on this show suggested that the Browns should trade for Deshaun Watson. I think it was it last year before the season?
Take your victory laps
But
in
that
now,
is-
Ace, because we know you ain't gonna do it after the Battle of Ohio both times. You ain't done it about 3 years on my ass. So take the victory lap now. Has Ace ever done the Bengals victory lap over the Browns after a game on
Yes.
this show, on this channel?
Not in this channel.
Nope.
Oh,
Not yet.
oh, man, I hope that stays alive.
Okay. Before we keep going, because I know we have a bunch of super chats here. Tony, we tried to mimic your expertise.
No,
and
no,
you did a
I did
hell
not
of a
try. It
job.
was nowhere close.
What are we talking about? Are we
You-
talking about our good
you.
friends over at Manscaped?
Okay.
March Madness is here. Not everyone can have a perfect bracket, but you can have the perfect set of balls this tournament season with the sponsors of today's show, Manscaped. The leaders in below the waist grooming have just launched their ultra premium collection to give you the total championship hygiene routine. After sweating out the games, make sure you lather up head to toe with this all-in-one skin and hair kit to help or to have your body and balls smelling Final Four fresh. Join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. With our exclusive offer, go to manscaped.com and use the code AFC North Talk. AFC North Talk, all one word, for 20% off and free shipping. This is a Cinderella story you're not going to want to miss. When the clock winds down in March, be clutch and avoid the upset with the Manscaped Ultra Premium Collection to keep everything under control. We all know how essential the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0 electric trimmer is for that precise below-the-waist trim. Their advanced skin-safe technology reduces cuts on your basketballs, but now you can enhance your big dance in the shower with the Ultra Premium Collection. This package includes the Manscaped Premium Deodorant. No, not for your balls, for your stanky armpits. This deodorant dries clear and is aluminum-free and smells like their signature scent. They have a hydrating body moisturizer. If you have tattoos or issues with dry skin, it's designed to keep skin feeling clean, smooth, and smelling fresh. They got a new body wash to lather you up with their induced aloe vera and sea salt shower gel. They have a 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner to clean your scalp with one easy step. And they got a free gift, a 3-pack of lip balm that's made with ingredients such as vitamin E, peppermint, and eucalyptus oil to keep those chappers feeling moist. That's 4 products and a gift inside the Ultra Premium Collection. What a score. All these products are cruelty-free, paraben-free, vegan-friendly, and dye-free. The best ingredients with zero compromise. And you can get all that for 20% off and free shipping. But you got to use our promo code, AFC North Talk. AFC North Talk at manscaped.com.
Yeah,
Make sure you get your little pouch that comes with your kit and you keep that thing on you because you don't want to be caught lacking in the streets in summertime, man. It happens to the best of us. You go for a workout or walk, and all of a sudden you see a cute girl walking a dog. You want to pet the dog and talk to the cute girl. Oh boy, you smelly though, and now you caught lacking, and you're missing out on opportunities. Don't miss shots.
Don't let it happen.
Take 'em, and you could take them if you stay ready, right? You got to stay limber out there in these streets, young men and women, whoever or whatever it is. Stay limber, stay ready, and keep that thing on you. And what's that thing? Your smell goods. Keep your smell goods on you at all times.
shout out to Manscaped for keep sponsoring us. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Luke here says, if the last 4th ranked AFC North Talk QB is an indication, Mitch kissing, well, you know, it's gonna be great.
We've all seen the tweet. That's right. We
I
got
don't know why we acted like it ain't Joe Burrow number 4, right?
Joe Burrow again, number 4. I don't know. I think Lamar.
Yeah.
might.
It's because of the years in the league. You know what I mean? Like he just has the less amount of years in the league. You know, so
Can he
yeah.
repeat? It's a great question.
Yeah.
Can he repeat?
Is this an outlier season?
1 year wonder.
Let's start the hating. You know what I mean? Like
I'm not hating anymore. Hulk here says.
Well, I mean, the Ravens might trade Lamar, so that might open it up. You know what I mean?
As long as we're on the topic of quarterback rankings, Q was head of the pack as far as the empty yardage with Deshaun Watson. And I obviously I wasn't here last week.
There's some empty calories in there.
Okay, have we pivoted yet, or where
No.
are we right now?
I am staying firm on it. He takes too many sacks at times, and he does have some empty calories, but he is still better than Baker Mayfield. Like, there are criticisms, but that don't mean I think he stinks.
Okay.
Yeah. Hawk here says progressive percent. Moving day with Baker Mayfield. Mr.
Damn, that man lost it all this season. He had sponsorships, a starting quarterback job, and now man might play for the Panthers, and he might not start. That's the crazy part. They might not start him
behind Darnold.
I don't know. It's the Panthers. I would not put it past them to have Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, and Cam Newton out there trying to battle it out for the quarterback.
Are they paying them like $10 million a year each? How are they affording all of these quarterbacks?
They get Darnold, they get Baker, and might as well bring the guy
Rosen.
Rosen, yeah, let's bring all three.
Let's relitigate this draft. You know what I mean?
I will say this:
play-in game for the third best quarterback in that draft.
There you go.
I think I know someone who was at the Pitt Pro Day, and they saw the interactions between the Panthers general manager and coach and all of that, and Kenny Pickett, and they said like that might be a done deal. Kenny Pickett at what is 8, I think, or 6.
Wow. Damn,
at 8, Kenny Pickett
8 or 6, I think. Yeah. By the way, Malik Willis number 2 overall sounds like that's happening too. So,
that's the kind of draft.
Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett.
Is this the Panthers that are doing this?
This is we're doing the Mac Wilson thing. Or Mac Jones thing again.
No,
we're doing the Mac Jones thing.
The Mac Jones thing was different because at
Was
least
it?
Mac Jones,
we were trashing.
We was trashing Mac Jones. But I didn't think Mac Jones had like physical limitations that would keep him from being able to play quarterback.
Could have been like 14 or
Mac
15.
Jones.
Yeah, I said Mac Jones wasn't worth trading 3 of your first round picks for. I think I wasn't wrong on that one. Like I still would say to this day, if you look at Mac Jones differently when he's drafted 14th overall than when you drafted him number 2 overall and traded for it.
Perfect spot, right? Not only the Patriots, that's where she should.
But did we think he was going to be good though?
No,
I didn't. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that I thought Mac Jones.
I thought the possibility of him being elite was not big enough to justify the draft haul. And I think that's still out there. You can still argue that, right? But I think the possibility of that skill set being elite is so small that you shouldn't draft that. You shouldn't trade up to draft that. But Kenny Pickett,
second rounder.
Nah, man.
Second rounder.
Yeah, I think the problem with Kenny Pickett is you're betting that his processing is going to translate, and processing is the thing that is hardest to see that it translates.
Christian Ponder. That's what he's going to be, Christian Ponder.
Yeah, I think there is. People look like there's a high floor. It's a high floor. It's just a low ceiling, a high floor with Kenny Pickett. I'm not sure that there's even a high ceiling. It's
low.
There's a low ceiling for sure. The high
has there ever been a such thing as a high floor? That's what they used to say about Brandon Whedon. He's old. High floor, Brandon Whedon. No, that floor was low. That floor was really low.
Because Q, a high floor is usually that means that their mental processing is like really good, and that's going to translate to the NFL. But we've found time and time. Look at Tua. Mental processing, and the mental processing. He's going to be a great processor at the next level. Not exactly.
And he older than everybody else. Like, wasn't he like a super senior?
He's a 5th year. Yeah, he's a 5th year guy.
Mm-hmm. You guys think Zach Wilson, if he was in this class, like erase what you know from last year, do you think Zach Wilson? I think he could go is like the number 1.
Not only would be number 1 overall, he would be a consensus number 1 overall.
Yeah,
that's the Jaguars. That's the Jaguars pick, and they have
Well, he would be the consensus best quarterback in the class.
Somebody would probably
trade up. Somebody would get the Jaguars a boatload of pick to get Zach Wilson. I mean, we could go down the list. Yeah. If Dwayne Haskins was in this draft, he might be the number 1 quarterback in this draft class. Like,
I don't think Willis. This is the thing that
Willis is the one X factor where like the league's kind of changed since then, and you can maybe justify it. Right. But if you put in somebody with comparable athletic ability from any other draft class, or it would be a wash.
Mac Jones is in this class, does he go above Malik Willis?
I think you can justify it, but I think ultimately you would take Malik Willis more because you go high ceiling more than you go low floor.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm with you on that.
That's because he has the high ceiling. I think if you go like Sam Darnold, does Sam Darnold go over Malik Willis? Like as a prospect coming out of USC, I think so. Like not the Sam Darnold that we know is
USC. Yeah, I think
he almost went #1 overall in 2018.
True.
Yeah,
and that was a crazy draft class.
Yeah, I like
Malik Willis, who everybody hopes Malik Willis is in that draft, right? That was the Lamar Jackson class.
Yeah,
you know. So I don't know.
Okay,
boy, Baker chose the wrong year to go #1.
Do you think since he goes defense in the first round, or if an O-line like Lindenberg is there, they pick him and move Karras to left guard where he graded high on PFF?
I mean, I think right now, as it stands, from people I know that are very close to the situation, it's looking like defense now. But it could be offensive line potentially. I think if Linderbaum is there, you have to consider it, right? Right now, they probably are penciling in Carmen at the left guard position. You still have to see if they're going to bring Spain back or not. But I think that they are going to consider it. But right now, it kind of looks like defense right now, depending on who's there. If it's a corner, defensive lineman that they like there, I think that's where they're looking at right now. But I think Linderbaum, if he is there, which I don't think he will because he's a good player, if he is there, yeah, sure, they take him.
Is safety at all a possibility? Because I mean, 31 is
I think safety,
Hill and
I'm not saying there's no sources on this or anything. I just knowing the way that the Bengals do business, whenever they have a player that could potentially walk away the next season, they did this with Jermaine Gresham. They've done this with a lot of players. I think that they could take a safety. It wouldn't shock me if they took a safety at 31. It really wouldn't. That would be the writing on the wall that Jesse Bates is going next year. They do this all the time, and it's always awkward because they'll like franchise a guy or the guy go into his last year, and then they'll like draft his replacement like they've done so many times.
It's something I've talked about on about the Steelers is this idea of going in this division in particular where you have Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and Deshaun Watson, and all three quarterbacks obviously are so dangerous down the football field, and we have an NFL that's going to these too high looks. Like I think the Bengals could almost justify taking a safety and then re-signing Jesse Bates, right? Because Von Bell's a fine player, but if you want to run a true too high look to keep everything underneath and limit some of the aggressiveness that all these teams are going to be going with, I think that might be a way we see all of the teams in this division start to build their roster.
Right. No, I can see that for sure.
Second royalty here says Baker to Steelers is the ultimate heel turn story.
It would be fun.
For who is the heel turn for? Right? Because Pittsburgh has enjoyed Baker Mayfield on the Cleveland Browns, right? And then all of a sudden they got that Baker Mayfield experience, and then we get to play against it, and then we start beating Pittsburgh. Who's the heel turn? You know what I mean? Like, is that Baker Mayfield doing a face turn to a heel turn for Pittsburgh, or is it a heel turn on Cleveland?
I find it on Cleveland, but it's already happened to Cleveland. Are there a lot of Baker believers left?
They Oklahoma fans, man. They go ride with wherever that man is, and I don't blame them. He's like the best quarterback in Oklahoma history, right? Like this.
Hey, give me a quick second. So this is some breaking news that I got on my Twitter feed. All-Pro free agent linebacker Bobby Wagner visited Baltimore Ravens today per sources. Ravens have high interest in Wagner, who also visited the Rams this week. Just a parenthesis there. Just
the Ravens leading the league in visits.
MNT retirement home. They had to get a visit.
The Ravens always got somebody over to visit. You know what I mean? Y'all the homeboy, but y'all never keep them there. Like, you know, it's always like sometimes y'all do. Y'all got like when I heard Leo Collins was visiting the Bengals, I'm like, don't nobody visit there unless they going. Like, so he was going there, right? Whenever somebody visit Pittsburgh, they will not let them leave if they really want them, right? Like, they will hold them there in Pittsburgh. Baltimore, y'all be letting dudes just come in, come out. All right, man, nice to talk to you. Bounce, and then they just never do anything with it. Like, Baltimore just love them visits, I guess. They just love getting to know guys. You know, I think that's just John Harbaugh. He's a people person.
Okay. Tristan Talk Brown says, I feel the best fit will be Baker in Seattle, Jimmy in Miami. Jimmy knows the offense Miami wants to run.
My God.
Be a bridge. Baker can compete with Drew.
Could you imagine Tyreek Hill? with them Jimmy Garoppolo throws on cover 2. He like, I'm jogging out here.
He is gonna
Have to turn
regret
Tyreek
that.
Hill into Deebo Samuel. Gonna make him a running back.
What is it with Miami getting like 2 of the same player? Because like Jalen Waddle is like a Tyreek Hill clone, and they're both on the same team.
It would make sense if they had a quarterback who could throw the ball more than like 55 yards. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like that's the thing. Is like you got the fast wide receiver. Your quarterbacks too. Now maybe the idea is they gonna go West Coast and just give them yak plays and all that, but that's not what they do for.
At worst, you should have just say, you know what, Jameis, come here. Come here. We need somebody with a big arm.
It is an interesting point though of like why is Miami building this team, because they just got Mike McDaniel from San Francisco, and Shanahan is the guy, right? Kyle Shanahan is the guy who said you build your wide receiver core like you build a basketball team, right? Where you got a big guy, you got a shifting, or you got all these different. You need all these different archetypes at the wide receiver position. Maybe McDaniel missed that day when Shanahan was going over that. He was sick that day or something. I'm not sure.
But see, when Shanahan was in Cleveland, he did the same thing McDaniel did, where he just got a bunch of fast dudes and was like, all right, Brian Hoyer, get him the ball. Like, and it worked for like 7 games out here. So like it might work, but I don't know. I don't know what they're doing out there in Miami. It seems directionally confusing what they're doing there. But
2 fast guys with a guy that underthrows people. I'm not sure what the strategy is.
But before we
a lot of end arounds, I'm telling you, a lot of wide receiver screens.
Yeah,
let's go.
Before we read the next,
I'm not like Tariq Cohen wasn't good. It's just everybody's gonna have to be a running back now. They're just all everyone's.
They're gonna be like, Tyreek, if you want to get the ball and run with it, you got to start returning kicks. You know,
exactly.
I mean? Yeah, there you go. We have 520 people watching. If you give us a favor, just hit that like. Because we only have
hit that subscribe button as well.
And if you haven't subscribe to the channel. Okay, Soul Train here says, "Is this the wildest NFL offseason? I had never seen something like this. I couldn't even keep up for a moment. I was like, what's happening here? I felt like
the wildest one for me was when I heard that Devontae Adams was getting traded to the Raiders to take less money because he just wanted to play. He was like a Raider fan from a childhood. I was like, this is just wacky stuff.
He's really good friends with Carr too.
That's why I said Derek Carr must be the top 10 homeboy, because everything I hear coming out of Derek Carr. Wild. No, everything you hear about Derek Carr, everybody love Derek Carr, right? He'll stand up for you. He stood up for Henry Ruggs after that horrid situation, right? Yeah. Like he seems like the type of dude that you want in your corner, because I guess Derek Carr ride or die. Because Devontae Adams like, nah, man, I don't want to play Aaron Rodgers. I don't want to make more money and go try to win the Super Bowl. I want to kick it with my homeboy in the AFC West. Like that is the ultimate. You know what? I don't know if Derek Carr gets into the NFL Hall of Fame, but he definitely has gotten into my homeboy Hall of Fame, because he must be a top tier one for Devontae Adams to say yes to that situation in Las Vegas. I mean, look, if you're gonna be with your homeboy, Las Vegas is where you want to do it. So shout out to them. Get that Fresno connection back. Can't hate on it.
The trip here. Shout out to the trip. We haven't seen the trip in a minute. Perfect.
Right, welcome back.
It's crazy. Miss y'all.
Missed you, Trip. Welcome back.
Elias says Joe broke his hand/wrist. Haskin got the job. Burrow transferred after he was clear. Haskin 4,800 yards, 70 completion percentage, 50 TDs in 2018.
Now pull up Joe Burrow's 2019 numbers.
Yeah, but I think it's a little bit hindsight 2020.
It 100% is, but that's how we judge these things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Urban Meyer's an idiot in hindsight, and Joe Burrow was like the greatest college quarterback of all time in hindsight. It's just one of those things. It's like, hey, you get the flack. Well, if you're Lloyd Carr, you lose to Appalachian State, and you're the dude who started Drew Henson over Tom Brady, that's not going to reflect well on you at the end of the day.
No. Here, Sultran says draft about a month away. Y'all mentally ready? Well, I'm getting mentally ready. We're at least the first round. We're gonna be here. Me and Tony Q said that he's in, and Ace is gonna be here like half a show, I think, right, Ace?
Yeah, I'll be there for the most part of the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not just taking. I mean, you got the day off, dog. You're good.
No, I want to see what Baltimore. I want to see
You
Baltimore
can take the next couple
fans.
of years off. Actually, I think when's your next first round show? I think it's. Did you share it on YouTube already? 2025, I think is the
I
next
got
time
Thursday off for like the next 3 years. Shout out Andrew Berry for that
Yeah,
one.
exactly.
But yeah, so I don't have to worry about Thursdays. I get my weekends covered. But I just want to know how Raven fans feel that for the first time since the AFC North has been created. Well, is it the second time since the AFC North has been created that they had the first pick in the draft of all of the teams? That's wild to me. You know,
No,
what
I
I
think this is
mean?
the first time they finished fourth. We talked about that already. This is the first time they finished last. Yeah.
That's crazy. It's crazy to see Baltimore fans have to be the most invested in the draft. Ace don't give a damn what they get at 30. You know what I mean? Just like best player available. Even if it's somebody I don't know, that must be the best player. You know, what you picking there, you don't care. You really don't. He's not breaking down a ton of tape on some dudes at 30. You know what I mean? Now this is a great time because we got Tony breaking down quarterback film, hoping the Steelers trade up for one. And then we got Sonny out here like, man, I hope we get a good one with this pick. We need it.
When do the Ravens pick? Like 12, right?
14.
14. Yeah.
Okay. That's not bad.
They pick behind the Texans now.
Yeah. We used to be picking behind the Browns, but now it's behind the Texans.
It's gonna be a fun day. I'm ready. I'm ready for the draft. Yeah.
I'm ready.
Already.
As with the Steelers every year, it's not a question of who they're going to take, just a matter of if they're going to be there when they take or when they're on the clock. So it's not a lot of drama around it, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
It's all jokes until somebody in the division drafts Jordan Davis, and I'm gonna be mad about it. But right now, I'm having fun with it. You know what I mean?
Can he go to the NFC? Can he just go to the NFC? Can he just go to the NFC?
That's my number one choice. Him or the center of Iowa. I already mispronounced his last name.
Linderbaum?
Yeah, that's my top two. That's my
not at 14. It's a little early. But I guess, I mean, what are you going to do? You going to wait around the second round?
Well, he won't be there, but I can see them trading back a little bit and grab him and get an extra pick.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, I would hate it if like Cincinnati ended up with him at 30. I'd be like, come on now.
I don't know. He's got short arms. He's got real short arms.
Oh my goodness.
He'll
live. I think he makes up for it in other ways.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, he's like a,
his arms ain't even that short. They're 34 inch.
Wait,
they're 34 inch arms, right?
Wait. Can you imagine? Because this has been the luck for the past 2 years. Look. The past 2 years, we have all talked about an effing player that we all love in the first round, late first round, and the effing Browns get in the second round. Can you imagine? Because they cut Treader. This effing guy.
No, I thought they cut him. They cut him because they like someone else, though. I don't think they're in the
market. No, we cut him because we drafted Nick Harris.
Yeah, they have him. You don't worry, Sonny. We're okay. We're fine.
No, we'll find a guy that they
put it past. Yeah, they gonna get somebody that we all like. You know what I mean? In the second round.
JOK. We all said JOK, and we literally. I remember me saying it. I'm probably some of you all say it too. Said, I don't want him to go to the Browns because the Browns were very weak at linebacker, right? A middle linebacker. I'm like, I don't want him to go to the Browns because the Browns also that offseason added a bunch of pieces on the defensive side. And lo and behold, he ends in the second round to the effing Browns. Okay.
I don't like I said, Sonny, we just got to do this. Just don't like anybody. See?
Yeah, that's
Can't
true.
hurt us. Can't hurt us.
That's true.
That's Ace's position this year.
Last year,
I ain't got to like or love nobody. I'm just riding with what the team do. You know what I mean? Like,
last year, I said I love him as probably my favorite middle linebacker. My favorite tight end was Fairmouth, even though 20 years like, no, I hated Fairmouth. I'm like, no, I love this dude. And then
didn't you like Claypool too?
And then you liked Logan Wilson.
No,
too,
me and Sonny both didn't like Claypool.
Sonny liked Logan Wilson too.
I love
Logan
stay
Wilson. Away from those linebackers.
Logan Wilson almost won the Bengals a Super Bowl if that was called properly. Like that's wild.
I told Ace that year. That was 2 years ago. I said like
Logan Wilson and then
I said I love this dude. I think these dudes gonna be amazing. I think he's gonna be a great middle linebacker. I think he is a great middle linebacker. So anyway, let's not talk about the guys that I love that went to different teams.
And then you ended up getting like a dude that you hated too with Dafe.
Odafe has been playing bad. Odafe surprised me. Odafe played great.
That was a bad year for you. That was right. They got Odafe. You was mad about it. And then you had to watch day 2 and the Steelers take the dude you like. And you're like, what?
Yes. I said like I will draft Fairmouth for the third because I was very into Fairmouth. Well, I wanted the right tackle that went to the Bears, the guy with the glasses.
Tevin Jenkins.
Yeah, Jenkins.
Tevin
Anyway,
Jenkins, yeah.
Who ended up having massive back issues. So
Yeah.
Didn't even play.
he didn't play. Yeah,
Oh
Tony
wow,
is-
I forgot that he went in the first
Didn't
round.
even-
yeah, he
yeah.
wouldn't like.
Didn't even
No,
play.
he went in
No,
the
it was second round.
he went in the
Oh, it was
Because
second
second
everybody
round.
got pissed at the Bengals for passing on him, and then dude didn't even play.
Oh, Tevin Jenkins. Oh, the
Yeah,
right
yeah.
tackle.
Right
I
tackle.
thought you were talking about because I know the Bears drafted like a tight end in the first round that year, and I ain't heard from that dude yet. Or was that in
Probably
2020?
the year before. I think
That was the year before. Was
I
it
think
Cole
I had that-
Kmet?
Cole Kmet, but I
Yes,
think he was
I
a
had-
second round pick.
Yeah,
I had
second.
rookie Otto, and that is not going to cash in.
Tony is Tony. Is it true that the Steelers are interested in Baker Mayfield? I hope not. I don't want him in.
Tony,
So this started from a Mary Kay of all people, who
Oh man.
she was on. I guess she was on a podcast and said that if the Browns cut him, the Steelers will pounce on him. But that was just her opinion. I mean, that wasn't a real report. Now, and we've had. By the way, my favorite thing is Steeler reporters having to like dismiss this report. Has been my favorite part of the last week. No, I don't think this is true.
Because y'all not just gently putting that report down and saying no. Y'all are taking the opportunity to alley-oop that report up and be like, F Baker Mayfield, never.
No, I think it's more. So the one guy who's dismissed it the most has been that I've seen is Dale Lally, who's like very upset. He blames it on aggregators and like there's the third hand sourcing that happens here. What happens, and this is a problem I think we have when like in our modern times where there's this crossover between like what is like true journalism, like here's a report from inside, and then we also have Mary Kay who does really good reporting, also doing like her opinion on what would happen. And so when Mary Kay says something, people say, "Oh, Mary Kay said that. It must be a report," but it's not. It's not her. It's just her opinion.
Josina Anderson. That when Josina says something,
right?
Coming.
I will say this though: if Baker
it's
Mayfield ends up in a Steelers uniform, Tony has to buy a Baker jersey. That's the bet.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do if he takes
I'm gonna have a Mitch jersey and a Baker jersey? I mean, come on.
with that 6?
Yeah. Good old Mitch. Hey Q, if Baker took care of his balls more, he would be on another team already with Manscaped, of course. Shout out to you, Professor Chaos. Soul Train says, I feel like
Nothing beats I want to be traded to the Colts. And the Colts being like new phone who this. Nothing beats that. Like, I don't know how that did humble.
Well, let me say something. Third round from Matty Ice, that wasn't a bad trade for them.
No, they worked out good for them.
Yeah.
But it came out that not only did they not want Baker Mayfield, they never considered it. And he was like, trade me to the Colts.
Trade me to the Colts.
Trade me to the Colts.
Don't want you,
They
boy.
would take me in a heartbeat. They would love a guy like me. And the Colts are like, nah. We want Matt Ryan at 37 years old, coming off his worst year in like 10 years. Like, that's wild. That's wild.
Soul Train says, I feel like we all need the quarterbacks to get drafted too early and overthink things so we can get a steal. Yeah.
Quarterbacks always get overdrafted. There will be more than 2 quarterbacks taken in the first round this year. Bet on that.
Do the
It'll probably
Steelers
be
want to
4.
run on quarterbacks to happen though? I wouldn't think that you guys would want that.
Oh,
happen.
no. We do not want to run. We want no quarterbacks taken so then Malik can
Right.
call us. Yeah.
Yeah, this not happening. Malik's not coming.
No.
If
He would have to go up to get Malik.
If he gets to number 10, would you guys trade?
10, they go up and get him immediately.
Yeah, because
The question is, do they go up to 6? Because
They went up to
the
10
Giants,
for
right?
Devin Bush. They went up to 10 for Devin
Yeah,
Bush. They're
I know.
definitely going up.
The question is, do you end up in a situation where you start overpaying for like a guy like Desmond Ridder?
Yeah, no, I think that the new, so like I think if Malik goes 2, which sounds more and more likely as we get closer to the draft, then I think that the next thing that is likely to happen is the Steelers stay put at 20, take best player available, Andrew Booth or whoever, and then they trade back into the end of the first round and take Corral, Ridder, Howell, whatever guy they. The problem with the Steelers in evaluating like how they feel about quarterback this year is that unlike most years, Tomlin and Colbert are seeing everybody, right? They've been at every pro day. They literally went to every single one. The only one they didn't go to was Carson Strong, and that's because it was on the same day as Kenny Pickett. So trying to decipher, like we know they like Willis the most, but who do they like second most or third most? That's hard because they've been to every pro day. They've wined and dined every player. Oh, speaking of whining and dining players, this is for you, Q. So Matt Rule and the Panthers GM wanted to have dinner with Matt Corral, and Matt Corral said, nah, I got dinner plans already. I'm good.
Yeah, Matt Rule's a mess, man. Matt Rule's a mess. I was shocked he's still there. Like the idea that they trotted that man, because what those Watson things turned into were recruiting trips, and they walked him in there to convince Deshaun Watson to play for him, and that ain't never happened to Matt Rule in his life. I just don't know why they thought that their plan to impress a quarterback to come into their situation was, hey, man, we're going to bring in Matt Rule to talk to you. When Matt Rule talking to people seems to be the type of thing to turn people off because it seems like that dude's a jerk. Like, we think Urban's a jerk. Apparently, Matt Rule's the jerk without the accomplishments. Like, it's going to be fun when he gets fired and the stories come out about Matt Rule. You know what I mean? Because, goodness.
Feeling danger, shout out to you. Hey, speaking of quarterbacks, not sure if you're a UC Bearcats guy, but if you are, where do you think Ryder goes? Ritter goes, and what do you think of Sanders at age?
So I'm really not a big college guy I used to be. And when this whole thing was happening, and it was a potential UC versus Ohio State thing at a family function, I was like, yeah, I'm riding with UC if that happens. So I would take UC over them. As far as Ritter, I think it really just depends. I think there is a real possibility that he could potentially go to Pittsburgh if they do stand put and they get to 20. I could see that. Sanders, I'm actually not familiar at, so I'm not going to lie to you. I know about Sauce. I know about Kobe Bryant. I think I've heard about Sanders, but I haven't watched him enough to say whether or not what he would look like there. But Kobe Bryant is a guy that I'm very intrigued with for the Bengals.
Majay just plays too big to be as small as he is. That's the thing with Majay that I don't like. Where he plays really heavy, like he likes the bull rush and everything, but he's not a big dude. And I think that's going to get him in trouble in the league. Like James Harrison got away with it, but James Harrison was just a muscle. So, and he was just super low to the earth. He's not low. He's just lanky, and he likes to play strong, but he's not strong. Well, he's definitely not NFL strong. I think that's why he struggled a lot versus Alabama, where his moves were all strength, and you ain't out strengthening nobody at Alabama if you're not like Myles Garrett or something like that.
Ravens Nation here says, I want Stingley or anybody that actually gets a sack. Okay.
Wait, why? Hold on. That's not true. Ravens fans, you want guys who had 0 sacks in college. That's worked out well for you so far.
I don't know what, Tyus Bowser, and then
they just got Odafe away. Odafe had 0 sacks. We mocked him relentlessly on this show.
He had a decent
0 sacks, and then he was good.
He six-tupled his college total. Like, it was crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like,
An infinite percentage increase from 0.
You need a dude who has negative sacks. I don't know how you get it, but somebody who has never registered a pressure. That's who you need to draft.
Yeah. Have you guys watched any of Stingley? Anybody watch any?
I have watched some of Stingley. Yes, I have.
How do we feel about
the corner?
He's like the reverse Kenny Pickett. Only good in his freshman year, and then basically worse ever since.
So my favorite
freshman year.
Honestly, I was not impressed. So I watched 2 games on Stingley. I was not impressed, and I didn't feel like he lived up to the hype. Then I watched his highlight tape, and I saw like him make this interception with like his inside arm, and I was like, oh, okay, that's why people are in love with him. He's kind of like Jadeveon Clowney, where he has like these big eye-popping plays. He's super athletic, but when I stack his tape up against Sauce, I don't think it's close. I think Booth actually might have more impressive tape.
I think McDuffie's better than him too.
I haven't watched McDuffie yet. I still got to watch McDuffie, but Stingley is good, but the durability concerns me, and he is pretty inconsistent. I will say that.
Yeah.
How big is
it's about to happen now.
He hasn't measured. Well, I think he measured.
He can play inside and outside though, right? Like
McDuffie. My problem, McDuffie. He's 5'10". McDuffie's 5'10" on a good day. That's the problem with him.
But this guy was going against Jamar Chase every day in practice. So I think Stingley, if you do take him, he's going to be good. But the durability concerns, I think, is what kind of worries me about.
It would be Greedy Williams. He would be greedy.
In those 2 years,
Sauce is greedy. Sauce is greedy. I mean, they're like
that's not good.
But I like Greedy a lot. See, I thought Greedy's
not bad.
Going to be great.
I thought he was
good. I thought he was going to be great.
I thought he was going to be good. which I was supposed to in the
Sauce's IQ is really good because when you
That's what I'm
watch
saying.
that,
He's Greedy Williams
you
if
see-
Greedy was like more aware, and that's all you really want
Yeah.
out of Greedy, because Greedy just don't know what he's doing sometimes, right?
when I watch like the UC Alabama thing, he's like helping everybody on his defense like get in place because it's like these guys were not ready for the moment.
You could put
one thing
him
about-
in zone. You can't put Greedy Williams in zone. He's gonna get lost.
Yeah.
Every time.
The one thing about Stingley that I keep coming back to is Dave Aranda, great defensive mind. He's coaching at Baylor right now. He always says like Stingley's the greatest defender I ever coached. And that's at LSU. He's DC at LSU forever. So the raw talent is there with Stingley, and that's what I think you're betting on. But man, like Ace was saying, that tape later on in his career, it doesn't get better. It gets oddly
It gets worse.
It's a question of like, was he just unmotivated because LSU took a nosedive after that championship?
You got to think
year?
about the context. Yeah,
and then like it's not that they took a nosedive. It was like that one. It was they won the championship. Nobody came back to play during the COVID year. Like absolutely nobody came back. They had dudes who just sat out the whole year. Jamar Chase was a part of that. And then you had the whole situation go on with Edge Orgeron. Like it was not just a mess. It was
it was bad.
That affected it.
Yeah.
I
I felt bad because when I watched the highlights, it was after I did my thing on him, and then I was like, "Oh, he actually does have some plays." And then I saw that one-handed inside interception. I was just like, "Well, I've never seen that play before."
No, let Derek Stingley fall to the second round of the Browns, and I'll take it.
No, he's not getting past Cincinnati. I can tell you that right now.
He said that about Grant Delpit last
if Derek
time too,
Stingley
right?
falls out of the first round, that would be a massive upset.
Remember when nobody thought Grant Delpit would slip to the second round? Nobody thought JOK would slip to the second round. What happened?
Here's the thing. You got Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, Tyler Shelvin, all of those LSU dudes on the team. There is no way that they would let him fall that far. I'm worried that he's going to go to Baltimore, though. I think he is.
That's how I looked at the tape because people were mocking him to us. I was like, you know what I said? I didn't want anybody corner wise.
There is a chance. Like Quincy is right though. There is a chance because he decided. Didn't he decide something like not to work out at his pro day or something because of the injury or something?
His pro day is not for another week, I think, or it might not be till the beginning of April actually. But he didn't work out at the combine at all.
At the combine, that's what it was.
Yeah.
It was a combine, yeah.
Hey man, I'm just saying, we have had it happen before, twice, where we're like, oh man, Greedy Williams definitely a first round pick. It's up to the Browns in the second round.
Oh, I'm telling you,
we was like, oh man, Grant Delpit, no way, best safety in this draft class, right? Like he was going like 13 in the mocks, came to us. I thought JOK would go 10th. Okay. He ended up going like 55th.
Who was the other third receiver from LSU outside of Chase and
Jefferson? It was
Jefferson.
The kid that went to Carolina.
Marshall.
As soon as Terrence Marshall started falling, Jamar Chase got on Twitter and was like, Terrence Marshall next round. And like,
that's how it was in Cleveland for a couple of years because we had Odell and Jarvis and all those LSU dudes, Greedy and all of them, Grant. And then they were like, oh, we can't let LSU guy fall past us.
Yeah.
And we end up with like 12. Once you get to, look, them dudes from Louisiana stick together. That's one thing about them. They not about to let each other fall out the draft. They about to make some phone calls and be like, hey, man, you should get this dude. I know he can ball. Like, they don't ever let each other fall too far. You get two LSU dudes prominent on your team, you will end up with 15 of them in like 5 years and wondering how you got here. Because they don't let each other fall.
We just need Stingley to put on, pull out his inner Laramie Tunsil, put that smoke video out right before.
It is even worse than this one. It's Joe Brooks too. It's his homeboy. All Joe Burrow got to do is call Mike Brown, and be like, "Hey, Mike, you know how Ed was tripping them last 2 years, man. Come on, go ahead and make that pick. Go ahead, do it, man. I give him my blessing." All of a sudden, Mike Brown taking Derek Stingley in the first round. Like, they got Lael Collins. How did that happen, right? Like,
Joe Burrow picked him up.
They always come together, dog. Like these LSU dudes who not like to rock alone. They will have DJ Shark on that team before we know it.
Collins, that was crazy because Collins told the story and they were trying to wine and dine Collins, and he was like, "Nah, I'm about to hang out with Joe Burrow." He passed on the steak dinner with the coaches, the chill at Joe Burrow's house.
He like, I'm kicking it with Joe. Everybody want to kick it with Joe. Joe seems like a fun dude. He seems like the type of guy that has a pool table in his living room. Like that just seems like the type of stuff that Joe Burrow is on. You know what I mean? And who don't want to kick it with that?
Peacock here says, will Lamar want out if he doesn't get a contract? I don't know. Lamar has been quiet with the contract thing. I said this a couple weeks ago. I cannot read the whole contract situation because usually you hear more noise for either side, and it's been super quiet.
I want to.
Lamar hasn't liked anything on Twitter because he likes doing that. I've seen that he likes to like stuff on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean he likes a lot of stuff, but I haven't seen anything about contract.
I'm gonna do this for the North.
Have seen when that Deshaun Watson contract came across, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall on what his reaction to that was.
Ace, we're gonna have to do this one. All right. I can't believe the Ravens are disrespecting Lamar Jackson like this. If I was Lamar Jackson, I would feel so disrespected that you haven't even gotten close to the offer. You ain't even asking for the whole 230. You just asking for 200 and you won the MVP. Watson ain't win no MVP and they still ain't going to give it to you. Why? Because they don't respect you. They don't think you a quarterback. They treating you like a running back right now, offering you running back prices. If I were Lamar Jackson, I would feel so disrespected that I don't know if I could play for the Ravens organization anymore.
It is.
I think he needs to pull a Baker Mayfield at this point, right? You know, he needs to hold out until he gets his contract figured, or you need to trade him. Because I think that's what Lamar Jackson should be. You know what I mean? Preferably force a trade to Atlanta. Get out of the AFC. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's open for you. You're the best quarterback. Well, you're the second best quarterback, or third best quarterback in the AFC right now, or in the NFC right now. You know, if you get traded right behind Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, I would think he's an easy 3. Go ahead, man, but stop letting the Ravens disrespect you. They gotta put some respect on that number 8.
That's crazy.
I'm just so tired of seeing the brother get disrespected over there.
Sonny, you don't think this is disrespectful?
Somebody said this to Lamar Jackson and his people. Send this to his cousins because I feel like he listens to his cousin. Send this to his people and let them know. Y'all in Florida, let them know they disrespecting you out here in these streets. Like, has John Harbaugh come to Florida to talk to you, but he think you supposed to come up to Baltimore to talk to him? You a franchise quarterback, bro. He need to take that private jet down to where you at. If he respected you enough.
Rashadi lives in Florida, by the way.
I'm about to be Lamar Jackson's hating homegirl. That's what I'm about to be. You know, when the homegirl when the homegirl don't like you and you the boyfriend and she just be hating on you to make you break up with you, that's what I'm about to be. I'm about to be the hating home. Come here, Lamar. You need a vent? You need a vent about the Rays? Come on, man. Let's talk about it. You know they don't love you. I don't know why you put up with it. You know what I mean? They don't respect you out there in Baltimore. You know where they would respect you? Atlanta. Come to Atlanta.
We just watched, and you can't even say the whole like he was injured last year thing because Deshaun Watson didn't play last year at all. And
they was 8-3 before you got hurt, and then they out here treating you like you disposable because they went 0-6 with the backup. Nah, Lamar, that's disrespectful. If they insinuate that Tyler Huntley can hold the ship down and you a former MVP, they don't think you valuable. They don't think you valuable. You won most valuable. And they don't think you valuable. I can't believe
the
disrespect
level in this monologue here.
I think though. I mean,
how does Josh Allen not win the MVP but got a contract a year before you got it?
There is some truth to it though. Like, how is Lamar Jackson not signed?
Why do you feel comfortable giving? If you're Lamar Jackson, I would seriously ask yourself this question: why do the Bills feel comfortable giving Josh Allen all that money and not me? And why do the Ravens not feel that same way about me when I've been playing on a discount, being a 30-second pick this whole time? What's up with that? Why am I out here about to play on my 5th-year deal like I'm Baker Mayfield? Yep. Like, what is this? What is this disrespect? You about to franchise tag me like I'm Kirk Cousins? What is this?
I think.
What is this?
I think that there shouldn't really be any worry until if we get to opening day and he still has not signed a contract and he's literally going to play on the 5th-year option. Then massive like that. That's disrespect. That is like, what's the deal?
This is
disrespectful. About here playing out that 5th-year option. Talk about the franchise tag. Like that's so disrespectful.
And this is the way that it's shaping up. Like, it would be one thing if you just didn't have Josh Allen's contract set. right? Like if you're just waiting for somebody to kind of set the market, you know what the market is. And so it makes it look super disrespectful because you should be able to at least go with those parameters and say, all right, you should get something either more than Josh Allen or like right in the same ballpark as Josh Allen. It's not hard. And for them,
Are we sure that Lamar agrees with that though? Because Lamar's probably saying, I'm MVP, dog. Like, I'm not getting Josh Allen money. I want
none of the reports are saying that he's asking for anything ridiculous, though. Like, it's
technically he could say
that. 35?
My whole point
Josh Allen didn't win an MVP. It's a fact. It's a fact.
My whole point with the whole contract here is there's not a lot of reporting.
It's between the sweet point is in between Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes, because with Pat Mahomes you can say he won an MVP, but he also won a Super Bowl. Yeah. Josh Allen never won an MVP. It's that easy. You just go and get.
Yeah, but now see it gets harder now because of the Watson. Sorry. It gets harder now because of Watson and
that's
Rodgers.
What makes it worse.
Yeah.
Imagine if they would have done this before the Watson deal came out. They would have been good.
They could have did this a year ago before the Mahomes deal came out. Like they could have did this a while ago.
They could have done it a while ago.
To be honest, the big thing with this for me, which again I'll keep saying this, which is weird, there's not a lot of discussion out there. Usually you hear a lot of leaks of how the contract situation is going between the whole camp. You hear nothing, right? So I cannot.
There's no way though, Sonny. Lamar Jackson is sitting at home watching Deshaun Watson get $200 million. He's like, you know what? I'm not worried about that. You know, I just $200 million. Not anything.
Yeah,
$200 million guaranteed.
My whole point is I don't know. Let's say, and again, I don't know. So I'm not quoting. I have no sources. Imagine if Lamar has been like, I don't know, Pat Mahomes got 50. I want 55, right? And the Ravens are like, no. Not 55. We're willing to give you 47, 48.
If he came to the Ravens to talk about 55, that would be out. They would be putting that out there like, oh, this man's asking for 55. That's why we haven't done this yet, right? Like it usually because that's what came out with Kyler Murray, right? Because when Kyler Murray asked for something ridiculous, it came out. Yeah.
They don't need to leak anything yet. There's no deadline. Like they're not talking right now. There's no reason for the GM to be wasting his time not focused on the draft and free agency to work on a contract extension he can work on in August, right? I mean, this deal is much more likely to get done in August or September, like early September, than it is right now.
And that was what when the reports are going to start coming out. That happened with Mark Andrews last year, right? Mark Andrews was going to his last year, and as soon as July or August, from nowhere came, Mark Andrews is talking to Ravens, contract extension, and a couple of days later, boom. Contract was signed.
Well, they've been talking with Lamar Jackson for a while now, and
it's been soft talking.
That's the issue.
We'll see.
Yeah, well, it's just at that point where it's like, okay, if we're gonna be all right, but if they get to like September, it ain't no deal done. Then we're gonna start looking at this whole situation sideways. Like, even if they do get a deal during the year, because it's like, man, this took way longer than anybody. They said that they were going to do this last year.
People said the same thing about TJ Watt last year, and then it got done and no one cared, right? I mean,
TJ Watt's not a quarterback though.
Yeah, this is
remember we went last year going like, are they really going to sign him? Are they really going to let him play on the?
Who's memeing about that because we want TJ Watt out the division, but it's like different. Hey, you didn't do this with Big Ben, right? Like this is different when it's your quarterback. Where you don't treat him like an edge rusher or nothing like that. You can wait on the edge, dude. And even then, some of them edge guys got their contracts earlier than this. And the Steelers are notorious about waiting this out forever. The Ravens ain't been doing that. They gave an extension to Marlon Humphrey like before his whole 5th-year option came up. Yeah. So this is out the ordinary for this organization to be handling it like this. But it might just be an out the ordinary situation that's going to have an ordinary conclusion. I'm not saying they're going to trade him. I'm just messing with Raven fans. But I'm like, man, Lamar, you got to force your way out. Nah. I'm just messing with y'all because I don't want to play Lamar Jackson no more. That's more of a respect to Lamar Jackson. If I thought he was sorry, I would have cared. But
he has no agent, right? So I don't know how is that affecting the conversation. Again, I'll go with this. We don't know anything about the contract situation with Lamar right now. My hope is before September, before day one, contract is done. I don't have to hear anything about it. And to be honest, if it goes like that, that was the less drama. I know people wanted it before, but it will be a drama-free contract because nothing has been leaked.
Until y'all do that,
animosity.
Until y'all do that, I'm about to be driving this wedge.
No, you're the ultimate.
Lamar Jackson.
Listen, if we get in August, it's gonna be all we talk about. I mean, it's gonna get crazy then. That is gonna get weird.
You know who ain't trying to get Pookie scooted no more? Me. No, I have fear of Lamar Jackson. That man has whipped our asses way too many times for me to be like, yeah, Lamar Jackson, bring him back for the next 10 years. I'm cool with that. Nah, man, get him out of there. You know what I mean?
Okay, the squirrel here says long hair Q looks like Lyle Collins. Predator says Adam makes more playing in Las Vegas than Green Bay due to taxes. Okay.
There you go.
Of the cornerbacks out there, Rhodes, Fuller, Nelson, Peterson, Hayden. And we
Hayden's out
forgot to
there.
talk about Hayden.
Yeah.
Who do you want Cincy to sign? No one. Tony, feel free to add your thoughts on Hayden and Nelson.
For me, it would probably be Steven Nelson.
Yeah, Steven Nelson is solid.
He's the youngest of that group for sure, right? Because we're talking. Okay, so just Xavier Rhodes. What's the
Kyle Fuller?
Name? Kyle, thank
Fuller.
you.
Yeah.
Steven Nelson.
Is
What's
Kyle
up?
older than Nelson?
Nelson's
Steven
29,
Nelson.
right?
I don't even know if Steven Nelson just turned 30, right?
What
I
draft
think he's
class
like
were
29, turning 30 this year.
I feel like Kyle and Nelson are
Kyle
probably.
Fuller's already 30 because I looked him up earlier.
and Steven Nelson just turned 29. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Peterson,
Steven
obviously,
Nelson's
he's
younger.
older, and Hayden, we
Joe
know.
Hayden old, bro. Joe Hayden was
Hayden is
2010
30.
draft.
He was
He
good,
played-
like, yeah.
he played
33,
good.
something like that. Yeah.
He played
He's
Yeah,
old
good.
for a corner.
Yeah. I was shocked when he was asked, like, hey, would you move to safety at some
Oh,
point?
there he is.
He did not. Oh, there. Oh, he's back.
Noah Stone.
Nova Stone.
Watson showing no remorse, guilt, and rewarded. Sad.
According to his press conference, according to him, he feels like he has done nothing. So that's just one that time will tell on that situation. Whether
According
he did
to
something or
two
not.
grand jury, he has done nothing, right?
He has done nothing criminal.
Criminal.
That's what they have decided, right? They've done nothing criminal. Again, time's gonna play this thing out, right? If he is this serial abuser, like I doubt it stops here, right? With no consequence. So he'll play this out. Time will tell, and that will ultimately be the test for him. And fortunate for him, he gets that test because a lot of people who have this many accusations don't. So he's getting a second chance, and not a lot of people get.
Q, stay away from Winfrey in the second, bro.
Diddy, we've been having this argument for like 2 months on Twitter. The Bengals will not get Perrion Winfrey, and yes, the Browns will get Perrion Winfrey, and I will do cartwheels if they do it. And you know what? They traded back in the first, and we get Jordan Davis and Perrion Winfrey, and we gonna be the biggest defensive line in football. We're gonna be running all up and down them things, and we're gonna be sacking all your homeboy. We're gonna be on Joe Burrow. Ain't gonna care. He only got one bodyguard. We got 4 on him. All right. So nah.
I want Jordan Davis right now. That's my favorite player for the Ravens at 14.
Wait, the Bengals aren't in the. They're not. I mean, DT is that still in? They signed. They re-signed BJ Hill.
No. It's still a need because last year we had
happened.
Ogunjobi and Hill, and we haven't brought Ogunjobi back,
okay,
so
okay,
they're
okay.
still. Yeah, it's still a need.
You can't really ever have enough of them. You know what I mean?
Nah,
Big
Steelers
bodies
learned that last
rotating.
year. That's true. That is a fact.
Here says,
You know what you don't want to be at?
The Bengals learned that in 2020 because we were decimated. That was
You don't want to be out here noticing Andrew Billings. Like, that's when you out here like bad at the defensive
Bro,
line.
Minka was our leading tackler last year. Minka Fitzpatrick, leading tackler.
why not?
Not good when your deep safety is your leading tackler because he made so many contributions in the running game. Yeah, I would say the Steelers' defensive line needs to be a little better.
So what you're telling me is PFF might be
About what?
Minka?
Minka was good. Minka was good last year. Now they were wrong. No, PFF's wrong. Minka was good last year. He improved his run defense last year.
But they were
run
right on
rate went
TJ
up.
Watt not giving him first team all pro, even though he
They were right on with that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. That 23 and a half sacks.
That was
whatever it
insane.
yeah.
As a Bengals fan, that's insane.
No, I think that's spot on. I think that's spot on. You know, Miles is a better player.
Fifth in
Miles is
pressure,
better.
like fifth in pressures and first in sacks. And by the way,
Hold on.
sacks
This is the question I have. Were there 2 DN spots on that All Pro team, or was it just 1?
2.
Oh,
Yeah. No. They gave the other
Max
one.
Crosby. Oh, we're not doing this again.
they're
I'm not doing
not.
this again. I'm not doing this again.
Dog, what did Matt
This is
Crosby
fake.
do to
I'm
the
not doing
Bengals
it.
at all? Like, he did nothing
Max
to the
Crosby
Bengals.
and Myles Garrett.
Yeah, Max Crosby's legit, man.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nah,
It's
Damn,
not that
man.
for sure. For sure.
That's a
For
double
sure,
insult.
guys.
They gave
Yep.
it to Max Crosby.
Nah, they were wild.
It's one thing if you don't get it over Myles Garrett, but they was like Max
Hey,
Crosby.
Nah.
PFF is their Cincy base.
There's
you know,
not
they
a
know that,
metric
so.
in the world that I would say
PFF.
Max Crosby is better than TJ Watt.
PFF puts out really
There
good
you go.
stats, but at the end of the day, PFF is a media company and they do drive clicks. So
Someone
and you're
said,
right, honey, I
someone
did.
said
I fell for
yesterday-
it. Damn it.
Someone said everybody likes PFF until they say something bad about one of your favorite players.
Oh yeah, PFF all of a sudden become trash when it doesn't support your narrative that you are trying
When
to
it doesn't
sell.
support
you know
reality,
what
when it doesn't support reality, it's when it becomes a real issue here. Yeah.
I mean? Now, there's a difference between the
How
PFF
many
All Pro
pressures did he
No,
ranking.
have,
I
though,
agree with
Tony?
you guys.
How many pressures did Crosby have, though?
I'm out. Out.
What, do you have
All right, guys.
pressures?
Hey, it was fun
Do you have
talking
more
today.
pressures?
We did like an hour and a half. That's us.
Well, Ace, you know what I mean? Like if he got 5th highest pressures but first in sacks, it's a lot of empty calories. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, a lot of empty calories. Really,
Pressures matter more than
you
sacks.
gotta
Well, the
take
real question
out-
is, will he ever, like he's just not a, he's not a consistent player. It's not like he's been doing this for
if he
years,
doesn't
right?
have
It's
the
real-
Baker Mayfield game, does he
Yeah.
even win Defensive
Yeah,
Player of the
there
Year?
you go.
You know what I mean? If Baker doesn't give him 4 for free, or a big
Yeah.
man's way out.
he
Does
only
he
played
win?
like 14 out of the
Twice a
17
year.
games too, and like he was hurt. Yeah, no, none of that matters. No. You're right. You guys are right.
I
Yeah,
mean,
no,
I
agree
mean,
with
I
PFF,
think you're
Super
disrespecting
smart.
Max
They should be
Crosby.
a
Put in
GM.
a
They should run the team. See how
Max
they go.
Crosby put in a full body of work, and I think you're denying that. Hey, look, he went out there for 17 games and
I
hustled.
got it. I found it. Pressure numbers.
Here we go.
Max Crosby,
Number
101
Yeah.
total pressures.
Those are lean
TJ Watt.
calories.
Yeah.
62.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh wow! PFF is on
I'm
to
not
something.
disagreeing. Listen, I'm
Pressure?
not disagreeing.
So,
Forty
so
more
hold on. This is the original
Oh,
debate
God, I'm
that
not
we
doing
had on this
No,
show.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
that
We did
pressures
this already.
do
We
not
had
mean more.
3 episodes ago. We did this. No, stop. I'm out.
Are you telling me Max Crosby got robbed for Defensive Player of the Year?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Max,
Wow.
Max was-
Pressure sack, right? Tony, you
Pressure
told me.
sack.
I
Sonny,
agree with that.
Pressure
I'm not doing.
sack.
No.
I'm pretty sure you had a hat that said pressures over sacks, right? I mean, like,
Always.
yeah. So the
Correct.
sack number is
Yeah.
more of a cosmetic
TJ,
number.
Yeah.
So what's the issue with the issue with the ranking if he has higher pressures?
No issue. I have no issue.
Does
Wait,
Miles
wait.
have more pressures than TJ Watt though? Like looked at it before.
Not only higher, he almost doubled it. He destroyed it. This
Yeah.
is Max pressure number.
He had one of them
They're using the Tony
Carl
metric.
Lawson years. You know what I mean? When Carl Lawson led the league.
Myles Garrett, 78 total pressures.
Still more than them 60 pressures. Yeah, see.
18 sacks.
Max Crosby should be mad he didn't get the first spot.
He might
You know what I mean?
The first spot. No, he did get the first spot. He actually did get the first spot. In the,
Yeah. And then Miles and TJ Watt out there duking it for number 2.
There you go.
Small pressures.
Tony. You actually should be proud of PFF. You
Yeah,
were
yeah,
the
very
one that
proud,
told
very
us
proud.
2 years ago pressure is the most important.
pressure is yeah. Well, no. We already did this 3 episodes ago. I'm not doing it.
101, 61, whatever it was.
That's over 40 more pressures.
I
Now
know.
that has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that Max Crosby played like 4 more games than TJ Watt. We're gonna leave that one out of it. That has everything to do with Max Crosby just being better. You know what I mean? I don't want to know the pressure per game number.
exactly right.
I don't want to know about
Yeah.
the pressure per game number. It's probably higher. But
12 more
that's
sacks,
ridiculous.
boy. 40 more pressures is just.
Because it's literally he
There's
played.
no bait. I'm out. I already said it. I agree with PFF.
Okay. Let me go with the trick because I think we're behind some super chat.
You know it's going to be crazy. TJ Watt ain't never going to have a better chance to get 23 sacks ever in his career. All these offensive lines were like bad that year too.
Yeah.
Like when is he ever going to have a better chance to get them sacks than he did this year?
Max Crosby, the pressure.
And they still gave him to Max
Max-
Crosby. Knowing damn well
listen,
TJ Watt
you know.
was going to win Defensive Player of the Year too. Like that's the disrespectful
Nah,
part.
there was like the betting markets weren't positive that TJ was going to win it.
No, because it's
Oh,
pressure.
wow.
Pressure.
Yeah, because of the pressure.
Because that's what people who vote for Defensive Player of the Year talk about, right? No, man. That's hilarious.
Do we go O-line, safety, or D-line with our first pick, Sonny? I'm leaning O-line because it was hard to watch last year, or should we add a receiver? Okay, I'm going to be here. If we add a safety or receiver, I'm just going to go to bed. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to say to these guys, fuck it, I'm out. Especially what would we draft a safety?
That has not changed. Sonny does not like wide receivers.
No.
safety.
He likes wide receivers. Sonny likes wide receivers.
I
He
was
just
in a
hates it when the Ravens draft wide
No.
receivers.
Last year, that's what I wanted. Last year, I said Bateman.
It never
was my
works.
first pick, right? I want O-line or D-line. Especially, I want the center, right? Again, I don't want to botch his last name again. Last year, we drafted a left guard.
Linderbaum.
Yeah. Last year,
What
we
about a
drafted-
tackle? The tackle's out?
No. Hold on. That's what I was
Tackles
saying.
out. They got Morgan Moses.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
got
nobody's
Morgan
30.
Moses. Yeah, but that's a decent patch for a year too, right?
That's young for a Raven.
yeah,
Yeah, it's true.
Stanley.
Hey boy, this gonna be the offseason of Raven jokes, man.
I can see
We
it.
getting them all, boy.
I can see it.
Full
I can see it
clip.
right. Our O-line is actually, other than Seidler right now, I guess Moses, they're both in the 30s, right? Center to left right now, they're young. Even if you get what is in house right now, he's 26 or 27. Stanley's not 30 yet. And then last year they drafted the left guard for this year, right? So I think right now, I will be actually, if they bring JC Treader, I'm be like, okay, we don't need the O-line, right? We have the O-line for next year. Maybe the following year we draft an O-line, but not this year. And then I'm all on D-line, to be honest. That's where I am. Now, if we don't get Treader, I want to Linderbaum.
That makes sense. You guys want him because Bozeman's gone, so that was a starter. So that's why you want a center.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yep.
Gotcha.
D-line makes a lot of sense though, because they're going through massive. I know they got Michael Pierce back, but they're going through some turnover there.
Yeah.
No, the defensive line makes sense, but like, I don't know, man. The Ravens do have this spurt of just like losing their mind when it comes to wide receiver. This is the draft to lose your mind. And boy, would it not be hilarious if they took the ultimate Raven guy way too early in the first round?
No.
George Pickens. That's the Raven pick right there.
I'm going to tell you something right now. I cannot name you one receiver. Not one. For this draft class. I cannot name.
Sonny's not looking at any.
There's a lot of good ones. There's a lot of good ones. There's just no great ones.
It's gonna be Odafe Owe again, man. You gonna end up with like Garrett Wilson or something. You know what I mean?
Did you guys see that?
Did you guys see the Dan Orlovsky tweet the other day about like how like Garrett Wilson is the next Julio Jones? What did he said? Yeah. He compared like he's like Chris Olave is like fast Keyshawn Johnson or something. I mean, these comps were just.
So I checked tight ends. Tight ends are.
We can't ever just say somebody gonna be good, right? We always got to say something ridiculous.
Yeah,
he's the next Jerry Rice. Like, wow, all right.
Yeah, he's Jerry Rice with a 40-inch vertical.
Also, Garrett Wilson and Julio Jones have basically completely different body styles. So to compare the two is just wild to me.
Orlovsky's kind of wild talking too.
Yeah,
I don't listen to him much, but every time I see him, I'm like, okay. So Noah Stone here says, "Will
George
you trade
Pickens
Lamar
is AJ Green with the jump shot."
George Pickens and AJ Green, actually, I like that comp.
First picks. Well, Noah Stone, let me say this: I don't think you can trade for more than 3 in the NFL. It's not like the NBA that you can say, you know what, I'm giving you my first round picks forever. I think you can go up to 3 years.
What is the rule in the NFL? Because the NBA one is you can't trade back-to-back picks.
Back-to-back, yeah.
Yeah.
So the NFL, you can do up to three consecutive years.
Right? Can you trade after consecutive?
No. So right now, for example,
So
even if Cleveland wanted to give the 4th first round pick, I think the rule is you can mortgage your next 3 drafts. That's what it is. Your next 3 drafts, those picks you can mortgage. After that, you can't. So what is it? 2025 up to that year. No, up to 2024, 2022, 2023, and 24, you can mortgage them, right? You can trade them. 25, it doesn't exist right now. It's you can't trade it.
Oh, okay. So you can only go up to 3 years of draft capital.
Yes.
You can't go past 3. That makes sense.
Yes.
Garrett Wilson's player profile, according to, I think this is Roto that does this. I don't know. Is Jerry Jeudy, not Julio Jones. He's like 6 foot, 183. That is not Julio.
Yeah.
But the body control, you know what I mean? He's good. Like,
it's the opposite of
this is what I tried to tell people when the Browns had their pick at 13. I'm like, hey, look, if they take a receiver, Stop saying we need to get our next Jamar Chase with the 13th pick. Like, first of all, Jamar went like 4, and he was the best wide receiver in the class that was good at wide receiver and had a Heisman Trophy winner at the position, and he didn't play. Like, that's how good of a prospect Jamar Chase was coming out of college. Nobody is that good this year. Like, nobody is even close to that good of a prospect. Are there going to be good players in this draft at wide receiver? Absolutely. They ain't going to be like that.
Noah's talking here. Ravens need to go back to basic elite defense. I just want a D line that can generate some pressure without blitzing.
The one thing I want to know is, are the Ravens keeping obviously they moved on from Wink, right, with the blitz heavy. Like, what is the Ravens defensive scheme going to be this season?
It's going to be interesting. Some people will say that they should change to 4-3. They have always.
You do not want to do. I will tell you this right now. Do not do that, bro. Do not transition from 4-3 to 3-4 or vice versa. Because
what they have done.
There's no way, because they have those light edge rushers too.
Yes,
there's no way they're switch to a 4-3.
The one thing the Ravens have done for years is basically hybrid, right? They will come up with different packages. I think they keep that. I just think they need to figure out how to put pressure with the D line. So then your corners can be great, but if your D line doesn't get there and then the quarterback sits there forever, but the rules how they are, the corner is they only can do so much, right?
Right.
So Professor Chaos here says, Tony, how are your Marriage Madness bets going?
I was on vacation during Selection Sunday, so I did not. Yeah, so I did not get a chance to place many wagers.
Tony strikes me as the guy who would have put some money on St. Peter's to make the Sweet 16 or something like that. You know what I mean? Just live dangerously for a couple of weeks, see what happens. Go for the Duke upset, you know.
I did bet against Duke last night.
You always have.
I had Tech Duke last night, and unbelievable. The refs at the end of that game I don't know why you bet against Duke, especially it's Coach K going for his 100th game. Yeah. The refs were obviously going to take control of that one at the end, and they did.
You bet against Duke because they're Duke. You know what I mean? It's just
I went against Duke because I'm an American. I have to.
You gotta. You wouldn't be able to respect you if you was out here riding with Duke.
Right, exactly.
Hey,
Mischief. We haven't seen Mischief in a second.
Lifelong Bengals fan, misfit culture.
I haven't seen him since he was a Browns fan.
So long.
Quincy called it when he said
the last time he was a Browns fan, the Browns started their investigation on
the Browns were gonna prop Baker up and beg someone to trade for him. Do not if y'all talk about this already. Wait, what?
Don't know if you talked about this already.
Oh yeah, the whole Baker Mayfield trade.
Yeah, we beat that.
We'll talk about it more.
I want to know from Misfit, right? Let's say that week 1, it's Browns. Well, never mind. He's gonna get suspended, so this is a stupid thing. I was gonna say if they played week 1, but they can't because he's gonna get suspended. So.
Misfit's a Baker fan more than he was a Browns fan, right? I think he came from like Oklahoma.
I think he's an Ohio fan.
What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do if Baker somehow ends up on the Bengals? You know what I mean? Like, is he gonna root for Baker to take that job? You know what I mean? For the homeboy?
If you can't beat him, join him, right? It's the old,
I'll root for that.
Bengals got to make sure that they don't have to face that ever again.
He gonna be talking to Joe Burrow when we play Cleveland. I'm gonna get my revenge. Joe Burrow gonna be like, okay, like
I'll get it for you.
I'll get this out of. I'll try to get it out of hand so you can get in, Baker. You know what I mean? Like,
Thomas Morgan here says AFC North Talk brought to you by Butterfingers.
I know the Ravens sponsored this show.
Billy Joey, shout out to you for the £5. Look at that from the UK. Bobby Wagner having meetings right now in the castle. I'll make my day.
See if he signs. We still got they've been meeting for a little while now. Sonny, you broke that news pretty much when we started. So we're an hour and 40 into that meeting.
Let me see.
Need to see some contract details soon.
That plane gonna leave like it always do.
Yeah, I don't think Wagner's gonna sign. Like him and Matthew and all these guys, they don't have any reason to sign right now. They could.
I thought that Wagner was gonna. I just thought it was a foregone conclusion that he was gonna sign with the Rams.
The Rams made a lot of sense, but he can wait. He can wait.
Yeah,
I think he might. I think he might still in the Broncos. I think he goes to the Broncos. I still think he goes to the Broncos.
Here's the thing with a player like Bobby Wagner, right? If you sign before the draft, You're signing to a team who, they need a linebacker, but like they need a linebacker probably for more than just 1 year, and you're a 1-year solution. So, you get into the draft, right? And let's say the Rams, Nakobe Dean or something crazy happens and the Rams, he falls to the Rams' lap. And now you've already signed there, and now they just signed Nakobe Dean. You made a mistake. So, so that's why I think it's smarter for especially these veteran players to just wait and see what happens with the draft so you can be sure of who's going to be on the roster by the time you sign there.
Road Die here says T. Higgins is better and has a higher ceiling than Amari Cooper and is second best wide receiver in the AFC North behind Chase. Now with Burrow having time, game over.
Wow, that's a take.
That's a take. That's Higgins versus Amari Cooper right now.
I mean,
man, that wide receiver. No, the wide
it's
receiver
a take that you can have. It's not a ridiculous take. T. Higgins is a really good wide receiver.
Yeah, he's very, very good.
Yeah, he's good.
It's debatable.
Sonny, thanks to you, Sonny. As soon as you brought up the trade room,
as soon as I brought that up,
Sonny, you got him to 1,000 yards by yourself. You know what I mean?
I was like, he has something having a quiet year. This MF is going to ask for a trade. Well, I said that he was going to ask for a trade, right? I said that he was going to ask for a trade. And then, well, I don't want to revisit that. Ace, who do you think Bengals get for 31?
Bro, I have no idea. It's 31. I have no idea. Then you're my guy. I have no idea who's going to be at 31. That's why I'm not even looking at mock drafts right now. Why would I even do that to myself? Who's going to be at the end of the first round? I have no idea.
Right, because the thing about picking 31 is you're almost, you're taking players generally that are like considered to be second round guys because you're so close to the second round. Like those are the guys you're thinking about. Yeah,
you might trade back. You know what I mean? Like, So,
yeah.
Because if a team wants a quarterback, you're one of the teams that they're going to want to trade with.
Luckily, I have a friend that's like a Bucks fan, and he's like, yeah, bro. And he's like diehard into the draft, just like most of us are. And he was just like, bro, when we were picking at 32, it was just like, this is pointless. Why am I looking at mocks and all of this stuff when nobody's going to be there?
Okay, 1-1 Blue says, has Quincy seen the Browns over the cap numbers 23-24 after the Sean signing? No draft picks and no money. Oof. I don't even know how to pronounce that word.
Fubard.
It's going to be so hard to draft a quarterback with no first round pick, right? Oh, never mind. You have one now, so we're good.
No, but they are. But I do think I think that it is an interesting point, which is that the Browns have like not only are they've like full speed ahead into guess what, you have to you're paying a quarterback mode. Now they're not in it this year.
They're kind of in a rookie deal situation this year, right? Because they have
this
like
year and next year. They can get away with it.
Yeah,
but the bill comes due. The bill always comes due.
Well, here's the thing about the bill. It can always be put off, right? And that's what they're probably going to do. Once you get to those years, you'll restructure this deal again, try to put a bunch of money in the signing bonus. Tony, they've been putting Big Ben's money in the signing bonus until like he had to retire, and then finally you ate that, and then you still restructured it.
No, but at some point that's true, right? His deal like hovered around 20, and they kept it there, and they kept restructuring. But at some point, you you've restructured so many times that bonus just it gets bigger and bigger, and it doesn't matter how long you prorate it, unless you're gonna have void years. Like that bill will come due for them, and they will have to at some point eat like a $50 million cap hit or a $60 million cap hit. Not this year, not next year, 2-3 years from now. Yeah,
and I think they're going to wait out this window that they have where they have Myles Garrett in his prime under contract, and they have a lot of these young guys, the core under contract, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. And then once that window goes out and you're going to hit that weird mid period where you're like, it's like the Brady in the 2010s era where he wasn't really doing nothing, right? That was like where he had like 8 straight seasons without a Super Bowl. And then you just kind of ride that out for a couple of years, and then you reload and try to restructure and go at it again. It's just kind of the deal.
Yeah.
Mischief says Browns ain't gonna trade Baker to any AFC team. Well, probably Seattle, but yes, certified lifelong Bengals fan. I'm gonna tell you this: Browns will trade Baker.
They'll trade him to anybody who will take him. There is no such thing as we don't want him in our division.
What's the senator's name on the wire? What's the senator's name on the wire when he says, "I'll take anybody's money if they giving it away"? That's how the Browns feel right now about giving away Baker Mayfield.
Remember,
who called it?
wasn't the Patriots that said, Drew Bledsoe, you're done. I'm gonna trade you to the the Bills, right?
The Bills.
Yeah, they said like we don't
No,
care.
did they trade him to the Bills or did they just cut him outright?
I think they traded him to the Bills.
They trade him, okay.
The Browns ain't going. They don't. Who in the AFC that don't got a quarterback that you worried about if Baker Mayfield goes to? Like that.
There are other fish in the AFC.
If he goes to any team good, he's not going to start. So it's just like we ain't worried about this. Like, just call us and we will respond.
Please
to the Baker Mayfield inquiry. You know what I mean? But that's really all it takes is for you not to try to get us over the head with a draft pick and make us eat cap. Like, that's not what we gonna do. So that come
on. Feeling here says, Ace, thanks for taking my question. I'm a UC guy alongside the brand.
No problem, bro.
It's a tough life to live most of the time, man.
Dude, it took forever. We catch up with the super chats. Look, I'm proposing something here because I think Ace started this, and he hasn't shown what he has. But our hot takes, I think we should put it to the fans on Twitter. They give us my worst hot take, Tony's worst, Q, and Ace. You have to clip the video, right? There's plenty of free software, and put it on Twitter. And just hashtag AFC North and hashtag, if it was me, the Ravens, if it's Ace, the Bengals. And we'll see.
Boy, I got a lot of them out there.
Yeah. No, but then
don't do this to me.
Then does James Pierre count?
We can guys,
the entire
what
player.
I want is whoever gets the most votes, right? By hearts, I guess, on Twitter. So you're gonna retweet it. Then we'll pick the highest for Ace and we'll play it here. My highest, Tony's highest, Quincy's highest.
Are we doing a worst take challenge?
It's like the worst of the hot takes. And then I know Ace has
this ain't fair. Ace got all of my bad takes on a video.
Thank you.
Put up during the middle of the season.
Me and Q had all of our bad
I think this was from the hot takes episode.
Okay?
When he dropped that
style montage.
Yeah, when he dropped that diss track on us in the middle of this season, we said
okay.
We
sit here like Drake after the Pusha T song, like damn.
How come Sonny's I thought he was that dude isn't in that video? That's what I want to
know. No. Sonny
no, it's in there.
Clip. He just got a clip the other day.
So I was gonna say, so we cannot put it. It has to be the fans. The fans have to put our worst hot takes, right? It has to be the fans. Let them watch the episode. Let's see. I mean, I have plenty of
they have to go. They have to go to the hot takes episode. This isn't throughout the season. This is
Go there. Find a hot take.
Sonny was like Marquise Brown gonna be the best wide receiver in the league. Was that this year?
That was
2 years ago. Okay.
But I have a couple good hot takes about Chase that I think they should.
Yeah, you're gonna be in there. That one's gonna be out there. If anyone puts anything about my Matt Canada takes on there, just know he's still the OC. He's still just a year off. Just a year off.
I think that might have been when Tony did who was the guy that was on the Steelers, the wide receiver. He came from like the Jaguars and the Colts.
Dante Moncrief.
Moncrief. The legend.
Broke his finger. Never the same. I mean, literally never the same after that.
My man had negative 5 yards
take a player
receiving.
From future Hall of Fame to never in the NFL again. But that's what happened to him. That's
what happened with
put up Allen Robinson?
It's the Tony curse. It's the Tony
Pierre
curse.
I said my worst of the last year is James Pierre.
The thing with the Tony bad take is that it'll look good for a little bit. You know what I mean?
He had a game-winning interception against Denver. I mean, we'll always have that.
It will hit its peak. And then the second it hits its peak, sell high on them Tony takes. You know what I mean? Exactly. Because I promise you, week 5, the Steelers will be in first place of this division. And you go want to sell high on that Tony take right there.
That's not my take. That's your take. What do you mean? That's not my.
No. The Tony take is Mitch Trubisky.
And Mitch Trubisky a take that I didn't have.
No. I'm saying the Tony take is the Mitch Trubisky take. Right? You're all in on this Mitch Trubisky experiment. And I'm like, it's going to look good for the first 5 weeks of the season. They're going to be in first place. And then it's going to go downhill.
No.
Nan here says
Mitch is 17-0 coming up. But
Bengals legendary season incoming 2022. I foresee it. By the way, this doesn't count as a hot take. Whatever Tony's talking right now, this is from last year. Let's talk about last year.
Nandon is spot on. I'm not gonna lie. I think he said that before last year. He said something about the year of the Tiger. He said it came to him in a dream or something like that. That it was the year of the Tiger. So I'm not sleeping on Nandon.
It must have came to all of y'all in a dream because I could have swore y'all was a Super Bowl contender the year before.
My God, yeah, exactly.
When
it's
you're
like
talking this offseason, I'm like, where did this confidence get inspired from?
Yeah.
And this is why I'm like, how did Ohio State miss out on
Jamar
this?
Chase, the first time I ever heard Bengals fans saying Super Bowl was when we beat the Ravens because the Ravens are a good team, and I'm not trying to like throw shade or anything like that. When we beat them like that, that is when Bengals fans started saying that they had a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
And they were right.
We feel like we could go to the Super Bowl energy the whole time. Y'all just ain't say it though.
That was Browns fans.
Absolutely did.
That was Browns fans.
The Browns fans thought we had a justified reason to think we was gonna go to the Super Bowl. Y'all out here like, yeah, we gonna go straight from 0 to 31, and it happened. I still can't believe that happened, but it happened. So I can't even be mad.
I personally didn't believe it until the Chiefs game. I think I said on that show, I was like, if we beat the Chiefs, then I'll be able to jump on the board with the Super Bowl.
I thought you were about to say the second Chiefs game. Like I personally didn't believe it until it happened. I was like, yeah, me too. That's when I started to believe that the Bengals were gonna be in the Super Bowl is when it happened.
Yeah. It would be like if James Pierre actually turned out to be a Hall of Famer. It's like that's what happened.
No. I'm talking about the first
entire offseason. Telling us the first things, and then all of them just like true.
Mark says, what's y'all take on the probability the Browns will resign Clowney? I think it happens.
Nah, they got the kid from Michigan with long hair. What's his name?
Chase Hutchinson.
Winovich.
Hutchinson's the kid. Aiden Hutchinson's the kid now. Chase something. Chase Wormley or
Chase
something
Winovich, right?
Winovich. There you go.
From New England, yep.
Yeah.
He's not starting. No. We're waiting on Jadavion to visit
they paid him a
Ravens
decent amount, didn't they? I thought that contract. Listen, I was on vacation. I had a few beverages, but I remember that contract number being a little higher than it should have been.
It was like 3.5 guaranteed, and then like a bunch of money in incentives.
Oh, okay.
It's just the Tack McKinley deal.
Gotcha.
But all we waiting on for Jadavion is for him to visit the Ravens, and then he'll come back and come play in Cleveland. It's usually what happens. Get that bad offer from the Ravens and come on home. You know what I mean?
By the way, the Ravens, I don't know if you guys look, this is a gambling, the gambling segment of AFC North Talk. The Ravens right now are the third lowest odds or highest odds, however you want to say it, right? They're third best in the AFC North. I like those odds a lot. Yeah. Last I saw it was Browns, then Bengals, then Ravens.
It changes like every day because I could have sworn like a week ago it was like Ravens. Was this
not since the Watson thing?
No, yeah,
the Watson thing.
Yeah,
I would if right now. I would put money on the Ravens to win the division
I think it's like
at plus 160 or something. That's good odds. Well, 10. Listen, you don't think I'm putting this 10-1 right now? I mean, 10-1. Mike Tomlin, 10-1. Mike Tomlin, who with a 40-year-old washed-up quarterback finished half a game out. And
I bet those odds would be better with Baker.
Quarterback, and they're worse. Yeah,
those odds would be better with Baker.
Tony, I don't understand why you don't want Baker Mayfield on your team. As a gambling man yourself, you should appreciate what Baker Mayfield brings to the day-to-day Sunday operations, which is a gamble. I like
to have my asshole players actually have some talent, like Antonio Brown, and Baker unfortunately doesn't.
Look, you get Antonio Brown without all the benefit. That sounds great to me. You know.
Every game is a gamble.
You know what they need to do? The Steelers need to bring in Baker Mayfield and Antonio Brown to have the ultimate locker room experience. We're going to see how good of a coach Mike Tomlin is if he can wrangle that.
He wanted to go to the Cleveland, didn't he?
He said the Cleveland Antonio Brown.
He's just like tweeting about it. The Cleveland AB.
No way. I refuse. That would be a bridge too far.
And I would love for it to happen because I've said so often to Browns fans, you got to stop using the AB acronym.
I gotta see this. I gotta see Kanye West in Cleveland.
I refuse. It's one thing when you
a brown mask on, some gloves, and some of those rubber boots on. I gotta see.
Bruh, if Antonio Brown is Kanye West of football, we are Taylor Swift to him. We can never just kick it with Antonio Brown, dog. Like ever. He has made his whole career off embarrassing us. You ever watch an Antonio Brown highlight tape? If you would have swore that he played 16 games versus the Browns for like 4 straight years, if you look at them highlight tapes, it's just nothing but Browns clips. Like nothing but Browns
I'm telling
clips.
you, dog, it's happening. Kanye with
Yo-
the messed up
yo,
haircut, all the
remember-
designs, in the dog pound with some sunglasses on. cheering
I'm
on
in it.
AB.
I want AB there. I think AB should go there.
I agree.
AB
Send
would
him
be
to
the
Cleveland.
first player.
They need a
to
wide
get
receiver. What are they going to do? They're going to throw to what's it? The kid from Akron?
Yeah,
Peoples Jones.
No, the other
D-
guy.
You
DR
actually,
Archer, Dre Archer.
you actually think Anthony Schwartz is Dre Archer at this point? Like your
I do.
parody has
I
become into
don't-
reality.
Listen, whenever I'm just going to.
You called him the kid from Akron.
I did.
Dre went to Kent State, dog.
Oh, he went to Kent State.
It's in Akron, Canton area. It's the same area.
Dre Archer went to Kent State, or he went to Akron.
No, he went to Kent State.
Oh, okay. All right, I gotta work on my jokes here. That's
Yeah.
that's easy one.
One blue here says no. Look at the Sean's contract. It's $10 million.
Yeah, but
Hit this year, and next 4 years are $55 million per year, all guaranteed. As you know.
Y'all ever
yeah,
watch
but you
The Wire?
take but they can restructure it in this way. You take the the guaranteed salary is guaranteed salary, right? They can't cut him, but they can certainly take that $46 million base salary, move it to a bonus, and then split it up throughout the rest of the contract. So it's just the question is like that just bloats the guaranteed money, and you can't once you make something guaranteed money, there's no takebacks, right? That's why I say the bill does come due at some point, but you just kick the can. Pray
worry
that
about it when it
ESPN
happens.
pays triple for Monday Night Football.
I mean, that's what I would say too. Q.
We never talked about this, but like ESPN traded for Fox's broadcast team.
Yeah.
What was that? I mean, I understand they was out there throwing out Joe Tessitore and Booger McFarland, but damn.
It sucks. So
they traded.
What is up with ESPN announcing like deals for their analysts like NFL players? Like we just agreed to a 3-year extension at ESPN.
Whatever it takes.
200,000 guaranteed. Like
look, man. Talk about awkward situations with Baker Mayfield and the Browns openly trying to trade him while he was still on the team. Dog, they still gonna have Peyton Manning out there roasting him on ESPN 2 while Joe Buck's on ESPN 1. Like, how could you have that happen? What's the locker room culture gonna be like in ESPN with Peyton Manning just ruthlessly roasting their main play-by-play guy? That's just bad locker room antics. The GM at ESPN should be fired.
You're joking, but I think there's actually truth to that. I know you're joking about that, but I do think Peyton and Eli should be pissed because they have the better show, and they should have. I mean, like ESPN should have something to promote that, not go out and get different announcers. They had the best too. It was Eli and Peyton.
Well, getting Joe Buck and Troy Aikman really does increase the chance that people do go to ESPN too.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I think we're underestimating what that's going to do for them.
We're better than the Tessitore and
it's better than them.
No, not Brian.
But people actively hate Joe Buck. You know what I mean? Like people go, "I'll listen to the game on mute." It's Joe Buck, and then they will.
Louis Riddick, next Steeler GM potentially. So look out for that.
It's gonna be Mike Mayock 2.0, baby. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm here for it. You know what I mean? I'm here for the Steelers becoming the Browns, and the Browns, not becoming their own thing. We'll just say that.
He totally here says that Sean came to Ohio for the Hudson Ice Fishing Club, not the Browns. Okay.
I don't get that reference.
Wish
I did.
Nandan says Aces, right? Back in summer 2021. I predicted us going to the Super Bowl on a show. This time I seen in the dream that Bengals accomplished something only done once in NFL history back in 1972. Okay.
Play a full season with high gas prices.
Yeah, wait. Is he trying to? He's trying to say they're undefeated, right? That's the reference there.
Oh, I just peeped that.
Yeah. It's going under
champagne.
Let's be careful.
Colin Coward.
Let's be careful. There's been one team in the history of this show that got real high on that undefeated juice, and it did not end well.
How can they get worse? How could they possibly be worse?
Wesley Johnson here says, when you talk about football, Watson is 3 times better than Baker. Browns are actually contenders now. I think that.
Did you guys talk about the potential for suspension last week? I don't want to rehash something you guys already talked
Yes,
about.
we did. We
Okay.
did. We did.
I think that makes this year really like it's almost maybe a throwaway year for the Browns, but then next year, obviously, back in contention.
Yeah, it depends on what the NFL does. As Tony famously notes, no consistency coming from the league office.
None.
Yeah.
The Baker
And by the way, be prepared. We ain't gonna know if he's gonna be suspended till like before the season starts, like the week before. I've been through this with Josh Gordon. They don't ever tell you like at a decent amount of time. They go, "Oh yeah, I forgot you got to suspend somebody." Yeah, 5 games.
Can you imagine if the Browns keep Baker and make him the backup, and then they have
Jacoby Brissett?
That got said. Ian Rappaport said that today on Pat McAfee. He said, "Look, don't rule out that they keep Baker and start him for the 8 games or whatever that Deshaun's suspended for."
Oh,
They would sit him behind Jacoby Brissett because they're building the offense around Jacoby.
The Baker slander is wild. Baker is a legit top 15 quarterback who was injured most of the year. He shouldn't have played. He's going to bounce back this year. I don't know with who.
Yeah, I mean the problem
Well, Trev,
is
you a Raven fan? You want to take him? That's the problem, right? Everybody wants to say he's top 15. Nobody wants to take him.
When he said top 15, I was like,
let's say he's a top 15 quarterback. He's a top 15 quarterback, but he's just a locker room problem. And you just look, in order to be that big a locker room problem, where as we talked about when the whole trade happened with OBJ and everyone sides against Baker, like you have to be really damn good, better than top 15 at quarterback to be willing to put up with that.
Yeah.
I say
Aaron Rodgers.
20, not much of a difference. I say top
Think-
20.
And look, I'm gonna be real with y'all. This is where Oklahoma not having an NFL team hurts the Browns because there's no high for him right now, right? Like there's nobody's like, we had him in college, we'll take him right now, because that always helps a guy get an extra year. Nope.
So because reality is there's 2 teams. Well, there's a couple of teams, but 2 teams that think they can contend. They should take him, which is the Washington football team, Commanders, whatever. But they're not gonna put him there with Carson Wentz. That's just an explosion waiting to happen.
Maybe they cancel each other out.
Yeah, but that's an infight. And then Daniel Jones, right? Daniel Jones. I think Baker is better than Daniel Jones, but they're still kind of in it for Daniel Jones. You don't want to bring Baker's gonna be toxic. You don't want that.
But,
so again,
Sonny,
This NFL.com list on quarterbacks is disrespectful. They have Baker listed at 25. They got him after Daniel Jones, dog. Whoever wrote this needs to take.
Are they taking into account attitude?
No.
Because here's the thing:
when the Carolina Panthers said we're fine with Sam Darnold, we don't need Baker Mayfield. That's what I'm like. If I'm Baker Mayfield, I start fighting folks in the street at that point. Like, dog, Sam Darnold ain't never been better than me. Come on, man.
in order, look, let's assume that you are a franchise who thinks, yes, you know what, Baker is a top 50. Let's say you even think he's as good as he was at the end of 2020, right? So you think he's a top 10 quarterback in this league. Wouldn't you need to put him in a situation where he has no competition in order to get that out of him? Because once you put him in a spot where it's like, oh, you have to compete against this guy, and there are going to be rough spots along the way, and he has a bad preseason game, right? And all of the fans are booing him, and that is the worst case scenario for Baker, right? So when we talk about teams like Washington potentially bringing him in to compete, or Indy or whatever, or even against Darnold, right? You almost have to put Baker in a situation where he basically has no competition if you think that he can be a top 10 player, because otherwise you're going to get the worst Baker Mayfield possible.
I mean, I guess that was my point, right? You bring him to these locker rooms and he's going to be toxic with the other quarterbacks.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's just not going to be productive.
Yeah.
Again, you would be taking a chance on that whole element, right? Like that's the chance you would take on Baker Mayfield. He can play in the NFL. You just don't know how good he is. Look, I know the slander. Look, and the thing that makes it worse for Baker Mayfield, and this isn't a real thing, but it is kind of a real thing. It's just funny to just hit them Baker Mayfield jokes. Like they just come out so clean and effortlessly. And now it's like one of the things where like, you can see it happening when it's somebody's player's turn to get roasted on Twitter. It just avalanches and avalanches and avalanches until ain't nothing left no more. And then Mo come. And that's really what's happening to Baker Mayfield, man. This thing went downhill. And now he's he gotta wait this one out, man. This is one of the ones where you get beat up on camera. You can't come outside for the next 2 months and just hope everybody forget by the time you come back out.
Yeah. So guys, a couple of things before we wrap it up. Make sure you hit that like. Also subscribe if you haven't subscribed. hopefully this in the off season the shows obviously are more lighter, they're fun. We're gonna have the rankings at some point. We're gonna start talking draft from next week. So also on Twitter, I'll make sure we post something on Twitter. Go find our hot takes, our worst hot take. Put that clip. Just hashtag AFC North and AFC North talk and hashtag whatever team represents that caster, right? And we'll see whoever has the highest. We'll put it here, and we'll revisit those hot takes. It's gonna be fun.
You don't
Sonny,
want to win.
this is just going to be
This is
a
the one
bunch
you
of
want to
people.
lose.
Yeah, Sonny, this is just going to be a bunch of people linking me, Tony, and you the quarterback ranking video from AFC North Talk.
Yeah.
Only one video will make it, right? We're not putting all my hot takes, all Tony's, all cutesy, or all Ace, because if not, we just have to be here for 3 hours, right?
Look, even my worst take of the year, that the Bengals were going to turn into a pumpkin. It took a really long time, but that second half of the Super Bowl, finally, redemption.
They had something about Cinderella in that last Manscaped read, and I was like, if only Tony were here to be able to read this.
Anyway, hopefully y'all enjoyed the show. Thank you for watching. We appreciate everybody here.
Baker Mayfield to the Giants.
You.
To the Giants. No.
Just kidding.
Oh, I thought you were reporting that. I'm like, you said that in reporter voice. Is that happening?
Yeah.
Did they get rid of him?
Yeah.
Oh, reuniting with Freddie Kitchens' homeboy?
Have you